in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second night of the most prestigious championship tournament in IWC history. This is promotional consideration paid for by the following. Night number 2, Jay Worth and Farnsworth. With me, I am Joe Dabrowski, John Bolin, our special added attraction of a guest. Tonight, Farnsworth, we crown a new heavyweight champion.
I'm a titter with excitement, Joe. A titter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final first round bout in our championship tournament, set with 1 fall and a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first the former champion, coming from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing at 232 pounds,
Dennis Gregory showing off the heavyweight titles and promoting Norm Connors. That championship Gregory was stripped of back after our Newville event this past summer when Gregory attacked Norm Connors in addition to several other staff members. Gregory refused to surrender the actual belt, but he's not recognized as champion. And after Gregory tried to use some stroke as the #1 seed to push his match back here to this afternoon, Norm Connors was very gracious to do so, because Gregory didn't realize that if he is going to end this afternoon as official champion again, he'll have to wrestle 4 times in just 1 day.
And you can tell how much the fans love him. They just threw streamers into the ring.
That would be toilet paper, Foghorn.
Oh, potato.
Gregory looking to become a record 6-time IWC champion.
Listen, I wasn't here yesterday because it's a violation of my union contract to wrestle for the IWC 2 days in a row. You people were here yesterday because, of course, let's be honest, you ain't got nothing better to do. Look at you. And speaking of which, we usually have shows at night, and this is my first show for IWC in the daytime, and by looking at you fans, I ain't never wrestling in the daylight again. But anyways, welcome to day 2 of the Dennis Gregory Invitational. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, because I'm going wire to wire to prove that you're either a wannabe or a Gregory.
Well, Dennis Gregory's opposition is the number 16 seed, the rookie, Logan Shulo. Only about a half-dozen matches under his belt.
As from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighs in at 236 pounds, Logan Shulo.
Logan's got a big-time opportunity here. Lost his qualifying matchup some weeks ago, but impressed IWC's newest member of management, Bubba the Bulldog, to the point where he persuaded Norm Connors to put Logan back into the tournament. A true test for this youngster, biggest match of his career by far.
Yeah, we're going to see what Logan Shulo is all about here against Dennis Gregory. Say what you want about Dennis Gregory. He is an outstanding wrestler in the ring.
And Gregory's biggest gift may be his conniving mentality, maybe his ring smarts, his veteran instincts, and we've seen him use that to get to the top of the mountain 5 times before. Of course, he beat the Sandman to capture his most recent championship. Looking for number 6 tonight.
Train on the track and you don't got the good sense to get out of the way. That's all this is.
And Gregory berated the youngster already. We're going to have the entire finals of the tournament, semifinals, quarterfinals. Of course, this is our final matchup in the original round. We should have had yesterday, but Dennis Gregory decided to pull rank and not show up. But bell sounds, we are officially underway.
And already Dennis Gregory into the head of Logan Shulo, berating him, telling him it's already over. And this is Dennis Gregory's game plan from the outset. He rarely looks to overpower or over-wrestle someone. He wants to outthink them, to get in their head, and to win the match up here.
A quick roll-up here caught the youngster off guard, but Shulo able to kick out. A cradle again, and Shulo is trying to get back to his feet, but Gregory, you can see, great ring presence, knows what he's doing.
So you don't want to do this easy way.
Shulo's been in there with some tough athletes, but with all due respect to them, none of them are the caliber of competitor Dennis Gregory has proven to be.
I'm old. You're lucky you're still here. I better hurry up. You could go
Gregory, some very distasteful remarks to our ringside fans.
Very honest.
No, we apologize for that. They're great fans.
Apologize.
It's the Nesbits. They've been here for years. Gregory control the wrist lock on Shulo. And Mr. Bolin, you've been on both sides of the proverbial fence with Gregory. What do you make of Gregory's recent run here as, well, former heavyweight champion, but still one of the main focal points here of the IWC title picture?
I'll tell you what, you can't take Dennis Gregory lightly. He will do whatever it takes and whenever it takes to go over on his opponent, whether he's a heel, whether he's loved by the fans or he's hated by the fans. He really doesn't care either way. Dennis will do what it takes to hold that belt. And most of the times recently, it has been by crook.
That's right, but no more War Machine, Mr. Bolin. McChesney, John McChesney, his own man. We'll see him in the tournament this evening. Of course, all his other supporters have seemed to struck out on their own, either in IWC or elsewhere. We really can't count out Logan Shulo either, a young kid, still in his rookie year, but has a tremendous amount of size and agility on his side. He shows a tremendous amount of potential, gentlemen.
Yes, he does, but you know what I always say, Joe? Potential. Everybody has potential. To me, that's just wasted talent. It matters what you do in that ring. And right now, it looks as if Shulo's on his back, and he needs to step up his intensity quite a bit if he's going to beat a performer like the likes of Dennis Gregory.
Certainly potential won't buy the groceries, but Logan Shulo has an opportunity to commit what is inarguably would have been the biggest upset in this tournament, perhaps the biggest upset in IWC history.
You're right, once again, Joe. It would be the biggest upset in the tournament.
Now check out the agility of that nip up.
Very good agility. Nice back elbow by Shula right there.
Oh, and Gregory with a disrespectful slap. Keep in mind, Logan Shulo, quite a bit younger than Dennis Gregory. If he can quicken the tempo, Shulo may have a chance here. But right now, Gregory has schooled Shulo on the mat, and again, just berating him in his face, getting in his head, the intimidation factor, trying to throw Logan Shulo off his game.
Not to mention upping the intensity.
Now check this out, Hurricane Rana by the kid, arm drag, second time. Logan Shulo showing some fire, building some momentum here on the former 5-time champion. And now it's Shulo on top of Gregory.
That's what he needed to do. He needed to step it up a bit, step up the intensity, step up the speed of his game plan here. Like I said before, you know, Gregory's going to do whatever it takes to win this match, and Shulo needs to step it up. Yes, he is young, but it's the lights are on. It is time to go.
Hip block takeover attempt. Gregory counters, goes to the eyes. Farnsworth, Dennis Gregory is no doubt one of the most resourceful and intelligent men on this roster. But is it even too much to assume that even Dennis Gregory, of all people, can beat 4 of the IWC Elite in one afternoon?
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chuck. I have no doubt he's able to do it. I've talked before about that championship mentality. And Dennis Gregory shows it time and time again. Whether he has the belt, whether he doesn't, he is always at the top of his game.
Still hand you all gold with the black roots.
Few choice words to another one of our fans.
Well, we have a cover here. Gregory hooking a leg, maybe some tights as well, but not enough to keep Logan Shulo's shoulders down.
The long and the short of it is Dennis Gregory has a game plan. No, it all comes down to whether or not the pieces fall into place. Because really, the only person he knows that he's fighting is Logan Shulo. After that, he has an advantage in that he's going to know who he has to go through next. Something that the others didn't walking into the tournament.
That's right. We know Dennis Gregory will meet Michael the Bomber Facade, Suburban Terrorist, in the next round.
If he gets through Logan Shulo.
Exactly.
So, honestly, although he has to go through 4 guys in one day, he definitely has given himself an advantage by being able to plan it out a little further than anyone else.
Foghorn, you're pretty used to going through 4 guys in one day, aren't you?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, we can get into his and Eric Ecstasy's weekend plans a little bit later.
We went to a dance club. What?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing happened.
Right, okay.
Shulo elbowing his way out, trying to mount the momentum against Dennis Gregory. Off the ropes. Check out the vertical leap by the big guy. Logan Shulo, got to be probably about 6'3" or 4", able to take Dennis Gregory down. Look out. Down with a Bulldog modified style. Cover, but the rookie mistake of not hooking the leg.
He's got to hook that leg, Joe. Time and time again, these guys with these lazy covers. You've got to hook the leg.
You're starting to sound like Tracy Smothers, Bowl.
It's part of the game. Tracy knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
When saying Logan is on the top turnbuckle, high-risk situation, cross body, beautifully done. Is this enough? He's got the momentum in a near fall.
Oh wow! I thought he had him there, Joe. I thought he had him.
Almost the upset of the year of the career of IWC. And really, Logan Shulo knows it's a rarity to get an opportunity like this. He's going to put everything he has into it. He does not want to waste this opportunity.
Oh, exactly. How many opportunities at the heavyweight title does a man get, especially at this point in their career? They are few and far between. Is Shulo going to make the most of it here? Hell of a spear. You can see the torque. Gregory's body twisted and landed another near fall.
And again, did not hook the leg. He gets too excited. He doesn't keep track of what he's supposed to be doing in the ring.
And Logan Shulo picks up Gregory, pressing the advantage here. Might be a mistake that he actually picked Gregory up to Gregory's feet. You don't want to do that. But can Shulo capitalize? Gregory's out on his feet here. He's sucking wind. Not good for a first-round performance. Wait, quick inside cradle here. Gregory trapped him. A textbook maneuver, and Gregory got it on straight wrestling.
Your winner, and advancing to the quarterfinal round, Dennis Gregory.
Wow, big heads up to Dennis Gregory there, taking advantage of his wrestling skills with that inside cradle. I was looking for the cheat move. I was looking for the big steal, but no, he just rolled him up and 1, 2, 3.
You know what? Maybe Logan Shulo was too, and that's how Gregory outsmarted him.
Good dig.
Dennis Gregory, small, tight package, hooked those feet together. Nowhere for Shulo to go. Gregory's in the next round. We have our final 8, and we're not wasting any time. Quarterfinal round begins in just a moment.
This next bout is our first quarterfinal round match. Set for 1 fall and a 30-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, making his way around the ring. And from Erie, Pennsylvania, weighing at 215 pounds, fabulous John McChesney.
The fabulous one overcame Vendetta in the very first round. John McChesney looking to become a man that can stand on his own 2 feet again, much like he was when he began his Super Indy dynasty back in the year 2005. No longer a crony and flunky for Dennis Gregory. McChesney wants to prove the true success in Dennis Gregory's title reign always came from John McChesney. And on his way to the ring right now, a very formidable opponent. The future of fashion, perhaps ready to give the IWC title a hostile makeover.
His opponent is from the Philippines, weighs in at 186 pounds, he is Shima Xion.
Shima Xion defeated the aerial icon Justin Idol of sexual harassment just 24 hours ago, renewing the storied Babyface Fire sexual harassment rivalry. Shima Xion able to pick up a big win in a very evenly matched contest. And as we mentioned yesterday, gentlemen, Shima Xion, tournament tested, 3 Super Indy tournaments under his belt, but has not won any of them yet. Could his first heavyweight title tournament be his first success? We've seen him make it to the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals in tournaments past. But in the biggest tournament ever, how will the future of fashion fare? Certainly in tremendous shape, wouldn't you say, Bolin?
Yeah, he looks pretty tight up there. But then again, so would you if you weighed 11 liquid ounces.
He is not 11 liquid ounces.
Yeah, 186 pounds. I weighed that my freshman year.
180, well, we all can't be John Bolin now.
No, I'm just kidding. Shima looks really good up there.
186 pounds of pure smut, Mr. Bolin.
Hey, man, good for him. What do you think of that, Foghorn?
He looks great. Over the past couple of years, we've seen him put on a little more muscle.
I see you undressing him with your eyes.
I'm not gay.
I'm not starting these time, Farns. I just like to point that out. We believe you. I know you had Cher on your iPod earlier, but that's beside the point.
Denial's, not just a river in Egypt.
She's a talented artist.
Go behind by John McChesney. And John McChesney, you see the determination he has on his face. John McChesney thinks he's been mistreated. He thinks he's been overlooked. There have been several times, Farnsworth, whether you'd care to admit it or not, where Dennis Gregory would have lost that IWC heavyweight title if not for John McChesney running interference. Of course, he was very instrumental in helping Dennis Gregory regain the belt from the Sandman, hit Sandman right between the eyes of that title belt. And ever since Dennis Gregory started coming out here and taking credit for doing this, quote, all by himself, McChesney felt underappreciated and pretty much went back to his old ways. He rediscovered the real John McChesney, so to speak.
So pretty much, instead of being aligned with one of the most winning wrestlers in IWC, he decided he would break out on his own, and now he's got nothing.
He might have the IWC title in a couple hours.
That's a big if. You see, he is facing the future of fashion.
Well, I consider John McChesney an odds-on favorite here this evening.
Yeah.
4-time Super Indy champion. Only man to ever do that.
But never held the heavyweight title.
Former multiple-time co-holder of the tag titles as well. Been to Mexico, Japan, Canada, East Coast, Midwest, down in Florida. One of the most well-traveled IWC originals you'll find anywhere.
I mean, I take nothing away from the guy.
Keep in mind, John McChesney, though, has defeated men like AJ Styles, Chris Hero, Shannon Moore. John McChesney defeated Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels in a bloody steel cage match while Daniels was TNA X Division champion. Shoulders down for a 1 count, says Bobby Williams. So both these men have an incredible track record and are really two of the most prolific, highly skilled stars in IWC's regular roster. Matched against each other so early in this tournament. Shame to see they both can't go on, but we will determine one winner here, and right now it looks to be advantage McChesney, if only for a moment.
Much like the Highlander, there can be only one.
Oklahoma roll by McChesney, only a count of 1 again. Both these men don't want to slip up and make any kind of mistakes here. Not staying down and milk the extra second and a half of rest. They want to get off their backs immediately. And great satellite head scissors by Shima Xion. Shima so well-rounded, influenced by the lucha libre style in Mexico, the Japanese style, of course the traditional American style. So much he can hit you with, but McChesney has that unbelievable vertical leap. Comes up with a kick right to the face.
Yeah, we've seen McChesney get into the air pretty high, especially with that frog splash. We've seen him get 15, 20 feet off the ground.
Hard knife edge chop, and of course McChesney, a great striker as well. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with low key, and that is no easy task. Lateral press 2-0.
We've seen him do it several times, too.
Indeed.
Because it's one thing to get hit by a car, but then to stand back up and let the car hit you again, that's something.
Arguably a career-defining moment for John McChesney as we come to you from the Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena here at the Steel City Comic-Con in Cheswick, PA. So many stars and luminaries of pop culture here, from Hellraiser, from Star Wars. Wrestling superstar Virgil is still here, Mr. Farnsworth, and we have a cover by McChesney 2-0. Great to see IWC, a big part of the largest comic book and toy convention and collectible convention in the United States today. Beautiful back bridge on the Northern Lights by John McChesney. Big slam. This could be all but again not hooking a leg. And these men have so much on their minds. They're still tired from yesterday, and they potentially have 2 more matches here tonight. You may see a little bit of these minor mistakes like not hooking the leg here. It's just so stressful. It's overwhelmingly stressful to have this much on your plate in one night. But one man will rise to the top as a true champion.
Very true.
Back to the vertical base now. And you got to believe McChesney's still going to have his sights on Dennis Gregory at some point. I believe, if I'm correct, the bracketing is structured to where they would not meet until the final round.
And you know that John McChesney, as much as he wants the belt, it would mean even more to him to take it away from Dennis Gregory.
The very man that that oppressed him for so many months. What do they say, Farnsworth? You keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That seems to be what Gregory did when he assembled the War Machine. He had a lot of dangerous individuals, and as a result, took away a lot of potential title contenders. Shima Xion, great missile drop. Keep in mind, when the War Machine was formed, McChesney was a title contender, Brett Albright was a title contender, Sebastian Dark was a title contender. And there were other individuals like CJ Sensation, Cosmo Davari, who could have become title contenders, but were content just being Dennis Gregory yes men.
Once again, showing the intelligence of Dennis Gregory.
Wartime strategy by Dennis Gregory. Great inverted DDT by Shima Xion, 2-0.
Using that missed kick to leverage the foot back, or leverage the head back for the inverted DDT. Quick reaction by Shima Xion.
Shima Xion knows how to be one step ahead of his opponents. McChesney fires back, however.
Uh-oh.
Fireman's carry into the TKO, a McChesney specialty. This could be all near fall situation.
We've seen him end a lot of matches with that very move.
Yeah, but not this one, Foghorn. These two are going at it. They are really going at it hard today. A lot on the line, though.
Gonna measure Shima with a kick. Shima's a step ahead. And McChesney dropped face first.
Uh-oh.
And that may be the setup. Maybe Bible block. Nobody home. McChesney had it scouted. Those double knees has been Shima's pet maneuver for a number of months.
Landed knee first and chest first into the turnbuckle. Turnbuckles, I should say.
McChesney maybe setting Shima up for that electric chair driver.
Oh, he has him up.
It's going to be over if he hits this. No doubt about it, but Shima rolls through with a victory roll, and he's got what Shima Xion won. Shima won.
Your winner and advancing to the semifinals, Shima Xion.
I can't believe it. You can't believe
I
it.
didn't see that one coming.
I don't think even McChesney or Shima can believe it.
No, they can't.
McChesney, you can look at. You can see how angry he is.
This should have been McChesney's weekend, gentlemen. This should have been McChesney coming into his own, rediscovering himself, and realizing a dream. But instead, the young, barely 22, former tag team champion, Shima Xion, has made it past the fabulous one and has advanced to the semifinal round. Shima Xion, a big-time step in his singles career. John McChesney, time to regroup.
Gentlemen, the following quarterfinal round match is set for one fall and a 30-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, coming from the last house on the left, weighing in at 200 pounds, he's the new horror, Sami Callihan.
Sami Callihan 24 hours ago pinned Super Hentai. I'll say that again because it bears repeating. He defeated Super Hentai.
Don't get too excited, Foghorn, over the new horror. We know how you feel about that.
That is horror, Mr. Bowling. Go back to old school monster movies.
I'm sorry. I keep,
It happens. It's okay.
mistakes. Simple mistakes.
Why, I've heard Sami Callihan's a whore too, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
His opponent hails from Cleveland, America, weighs in at 236 pounds, Ray Rowe.
Well, anytime we see this man, we know it's time to get deathly serious. A very lethal, emotionless assassin is Ray Rowe. And 24 hours ago, seemingly Ray Rowe put his past demons behind him. He beat the 375-pound Shane Taylor, who of course is the new charge of the Big Daddy of Destruction, J-Rocc. With the Cleveland Mafia seemingly in Rowe's past, can Rowe finally claim the heavyweight title that should have been his if not for J-Rocc's betrayal last December in the cage match?
You can hear the fans chanting, "Rowe is going to kill you." So it seems like we know who the audience is firmly behind. But Sami Callihan went through hentai, super hentai, I should say. And as you stated, that is no easy task. That is not something you just brush off. anyone can get through the baddest man in IWC, I'd say someone who has the credentials to beat Super Hentai is definitely on that list.
At ringside here, I am Joe Dombrowski with Jay Worthington Farnsworth and John Bull, and bringing you this quarterfinal round match of the IWC Heavyweight Title Tournament here at Promotional Consideration paid for by the following. And Rowe and Sami Callihan going to a more a mat wrestling / mixed martial arts style here. Ray Rowe is extensively trained in both. Sami Callihan, his upbringing in professional wrestling was in the Heartland Wrestling Association in Cincinnati, where he was broken in by very physical men like Les Thatcher, Cody Hawk. So Sami Callihan can certainly go very physical as well, as we saw with Super Hentai an afternoon ago. But can he match a man who's been pretty much unmatchable in IWC and Ray Rowe? Rowe connects with the forearm. We talked about Sami in his matchup with Hentai, tournament-tested runner-up in the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament, the most prestigious tournament in the Midwest. Sami Callihan competing all over the East Coast and the Midwest as well. But there's nowhere else you can go, gentlemen, where you can run into something like Ray Rowe.
Very true.
Although Sami Callihan match strikes with Hentai, can he do it with Rowe? Callihan does have strikes and lariats comparable, in many men's opinions, to the legendary Stan Hansen.
There's a big difference today, though, Joe. That would be yesterday, albeit he did take over and went and won against Super Hentai. But like I said, there is a big difference between Super Hentai and Ray Rowe. That difference being size and intensity alone.
There's a difference between everybody and Ray Rowe.
Speak for yourself.
Well, there may be one exception, that's true. It may be John Bolin, but Ray Rowe is in charge right now. And you can hear the impact, Farnsworth, of these strikes we've been hearing these past couple minutes.
That strike right there is specifically what you would expect out of this match when you see it on paper. You're not gonna see Alitas. You're not gonna see Toreadors. You're not gonna see flips. You're not gonna see people trying to impress people. You're just going to see some violence.
You are going to see those cross faces that can break a nose very easily, and this reborn intensity on Ray Rowe. It seems all the momentum that Ray Rowe lost, thanks to the betrayal of J-Rocc last December, Ray Rowe's gotten back. But look at Sami Callihan's strike back. He won't back down from anybody. Credit to him.
You got to give him. Got to give old Callihan credit. The new horror. He is very resilient in that matter. What do you think about that, Foghorn?
He absolutely is. I agree with you, sir.
And Sami Callihan responding in kind with those cross faces, much like we saw from Ray Rowe.
Well, Sami Callihan knows which side of the bread he has buttered. This is what works for him, and he's going to go to that. Even if it is, trying to strike someone like Ray Rowe, which is not normally the offense most people would take against someone that size and that emotionless. But that's what works for him, and as you can tell, it is working for him.
Winner of this matchup faces Shima Xion.
Yeah, very good there, Captain Obvious. Way to go.
In the next round.
But it was true.
If you're Shima Xion, what do you got to be thinking watching these two guys beat the hell out of each other?
Well, I would say you got to be thanking whatever you think that for the first 2 rounds of this tournament, it was a relatively evenly matched.
Thinking, you maroon. He said thinking, not thanking.
Well, I said thanking. He said thinking. My point is, so far, Shima Xion hasn't had to face anyone of a heavyweight nature yet.
All this intensity, both men still on their feet. Not to cut you off, but this forearm exchange here, center of the ring, headbutt, vicious. You can see Ray Rowe's head just snap back. And both these men continuing. Neither man is budging at this point. Nobody home in the scoop. Ray Rowe maybe going for death row. Callihan has it scouted, puts the brakes on. And again, vicious elbow strikes right to the head and neck. That's Rowe's vulnerable part. That huge low lariat by Callihan. Vicious intensity, but not enough.
And again, not the right pin. Had the leg hook, but didn't get any of the weight over his shoulders. You're not going to hold Ray Rowe down for 3 seconds like that.
Big booming hit by Rowe.
But Callihan comes right back. And in Callahan's first weekend here in the IWC, he's making a big-time statement on some very, very established names. But look at Rowe firing back. Rowe's got more body weight. He's probably got more power behind him. But Callihan will not back down. Open hand palm strikes with the back kick. Rowe with a duck and connects with a discus forearm.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Right to the side of the head. That can leave you dizzy, make it hard to stay standing.
And eventually the lights are going to go out, and it may have been right there as Sami got dropped in the back of his head. He's got the cover, and 2-0.
The new whore kicking out.
I think Ray Rowe's a little bit taken aback that Sami Callihan has survived this much so far.
Could be right there. Could be there.
Going for a suplex here. He is a suplex machine. T-bone, overhead, drops Sami Callihan.
That's it. It's got to be over, Joe. It has to be.
Could be. Rowe moving on. No.
No. How could Callihan kick out of the T-bone?
Well, Sami Callihan may be looking for any kind of refuge he can get, using referee Coulter to will himself to his feet. Callihan staying alive, but doesn't look like there's much left. But I could be wrong. Callihan playing a little possum. Connects with a lariat. Could Callihan have an upset here? No.
Hit with it and got on the pin quick. It was a smart move by Callihan. He knows this match isn't going to go much longer. He needs to wrap it up quickly if he wants to advance.
Callihan measures Ray Rowe. Maybe going for a suplex of his own here. Can't elevate Rowe. Rowe with a standing headlock takeover. And once again, the baddest man in IWC charging in, but nobody home. Callihan tried to get some momentum on his side, but rolled right in unknowingly to the Ray Rowe knee, and Callihan using ring positioning to get his hand on the rope.
And Callihan looking like a half-drowned rat, just eyes swimming. He saw the rope and pulled himself out a few more seconds, a few more minutes. He needs to regroup, get up to his feet quick.
But again, it seems the tank is approaching E on Sami Callihan. And this could be time for Death Row. The knee strike right to the back of the head knocks you out instantly. But Callihan knows that. Beautiful roll through with a leverage into the arm drag, and Callihan just dropped Rowe on his head. Very few men can say they've done that. 2-0.
We were looking at the upset of the night, Joe, in my opinion.
With the exception of a man like Jason Bain, and he's 6'8", 350, I don't think anybody has dropped Ray Rowe on their head quite like that.
Very true. You got to believe Ray Rowe is not used to having that happen, especially with someone smaller than him like that.
Remember, he has a susceptible head with a history of concussions, the chaos theory, but he couldn't hang on with the bridge for the cover. Or maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he wanted Death Row.
That's it. That's it. That's got to be the end.
Sami just visited there, and he may not leave.
3. Ring the bell, the lights are out.
Shoots the half and
Your
takes the win.
winner and advancing to the semi-final round, Ray Rowe.
And with John McChesney out of this tournament, you may believe that Ray Rowe is now the new odds-on favorite. Not that he wasn't to begin with, but Ray Rowe may have a clear path to the top, but not if Shima Xion has anything to say about that.
Shima Xion's about to find out why this is a heavyweight title tournament. I hope he's prepared.
Will we have the baddest IWC champion in history before this DVD broadcast is over?
Fans, the following quarterfinal round bout is set for football in a 30-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, weighing in at 208 pounds, he's one half of the Hollywood Bulls. He's Delicious Jimmy Demarco.
Delicious Jimmy Demarco, maybe the most talked about IWC star going today. A man that's ostracized himself from the rest of the Gambino family because he refused to lay down for Mickey in our tournament qualifying matchup after Bubba the Bulldog's speech about having no regrets as far as missed opportunities in this business. Demarco was able to survive the first round against maybe the biggest competitor he's ever faced as far as star power, M-Dog 20 Matt Cross. And now Demarco faces another very dangerous individual.
His opponent weighs in at 210 pounds, hails from Indianapolis, Indiana, by way of the Rage Dojo. He's the Psycho Shooter, Drake Younger.
Drake Younger is a hybrid wrestler. Whether you want to go for ultraviolence, whether you want to punch each other in the face, whether you want to wrestle on the mat, either way, Drake Younger can get it done. And as we mentioned, he is time-tested in tournaments. Winner of the prestigious Ted Petty Invitational in the Midwest. Also competed in the Chikara Young Lions Cup this year. I had the opportunity to be on hand for that. He destroyed some poor schmuck in the first round. Will Drake Younger destroy the competition en route to the IWC Heavyweight title in his first weekend in the company?
We will soon find out. Hey, Foghorn, what's that writing on Jimmy DeMarco's pants? What's that say?
I believe it says delicious.
What are you doing staring at another guy's butt?
You asked me to.
I knew it.
You asked me to.
You know what? Just stop.
To see that one
right
coming.
here.
But gentlemen, we are about to see the psycho shooter meet the man who instills psychosexual panic in all he comes near.
You asked me to read it. That doesn't mean anything.
You're still talking about that.
And Drake Younger in control. Please, gentlemen, we have two psychos in the ring. Can we focus? Demarco with a side headlock. Drake Younger, an amazing pain threshold, an amazing mentality. How about the matchup, gentlemen? 24 hours ago, where Drake Younger and Sebastian Dark beat the hell out of each other all over this building.
That's pretty crazy.
Sebastian Dark still has a rather pronounced red patch on the top of his head with a nice little cut on it from a rather solid chair shot.
And when you can come out on top of Sebastian Dark in an environment that wild, that says a lot.
Very true.
But this is kind of new territory for Jimmy DeMarco here. Usually he's used to these Gambino family hits. He's always got at least 2 or 3 people by his side.
Well, now we're going to see what all DeMarco's made out of. He doesn't have his kin with him. Let's see what type of man he is.
It's interesting to see that his tag team partner, Vendetta, Bald Evil, in the Hollywood Balls, is not out here either. We know the Gambinos, Mickey, Marshall, Vicky, pretty upset that Jimmy DeMarco decided to go into business for himself, so to speak, and qualify himself at the expense of Mickey, which you can't blame him to do as a competitor. He should have done that. He made the right call. But we really don't know where Vendetta stands on this. Vendetta, the longtime partner of DeMarco, but he's also part of the family.
Well, we've been backstage and we haven't seen them interact. I mean, they haven't come to blows or anything, but at the same time, there isn't a camaraderie or friendship between them, or at least so it seems.
Chop exchange, middle of the ring. I got to give the advantage to Drake Younger in this instance. Although you can never count out the crafty Jimmy DeMarco.
These two are just beating the hell out of each other. You gotta love it.
More physicality, gentlemen. You gotta love it. Shows what the IWC tournament is all about. As we mentioned yesterday, it's only the 3rd heavyweight title tournament in IWC history. And by numbers and prestige, it is the biggest. Great arm drag by Drake Younger. Traditional style now. Has DeMarco down. Drake Younger proving he's a man of many hats and can wrestle many different styles.
And he switched from them pretty seamlessly there. He went from roaring elbows to complicated arm locks just like that.
Trained by American kickboxer, an individual that some of us here in the Pennsylvania area may not be too familiar with, but a literal wrestling legend in the Midwest. Trained a lot of star athletes that compete out there. And certainly Drake Younger, testament to him, has been able to branch out here to the Pittsburgh area. Great standing Hurricane Rana.
He calls that the Pearl River Hurricane Rana.
Of course he does. But Drake Younger has Demarco caught and deposited Delicious first, right on the top turnbuckle, and a hard clothesline. And the Pope of Broke is in trouble on the apron.
Yeah, he better get his stuff together here real soon, or else old Drake, what's his name?
Drake Younger,
Yeah,
Psycho Shooter.
Old Psycho Shooter's gonna have his way with old Jimmy Delicious there.
Suplex coming up. Demarco trying to wriggle his legs to get free, but Drake had too firm of a grasp on that chancery. Hook of the leg, 2-1 now.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
You know, we're used to seeing Demarco take the shortest route possible to a win. But I've watched him train, I've watched him practice at the Coalition of Competition. I know he can wrestle, and it looks like he's going to need to, in order to advance to the next round. He's going to have to rely on something other than cheating to get the win. I hate to say that, but
the spine buster into the Texas Cloverleaf by Drake Younger. Look how low Younger is arched back, how far he's arched back, and how low he's sitting on Demarco. That's a lot of torque to that lower back area. And also wrenching the legs as well.
Demarco trying to use his superhuman bald strength to get out of the Texas Cloverleaf and crawl to the ropes to no prevail. And he finally grabs
Jimmy Demarco did spend a number of years idolizing you, Mr. Bolin.
Yeah, I heard.
But Demarco...
He's not the first, not the last.
Well, that's very true as well. Demarco in big-time trouble right now as Drake Younger in control. And Jimmy Demarco, there's no doubt he can wrestle, Mr. Farnsworth. He often chooses not to. He often chooses to behave like the pervert and deviant and miscreant that he is. The most mentally unbalanced member of the IWC roster by far. But he can no doubt get it done in the ring.
oh,
Keep in mind, as tainted as it may be, Jimmy Demarco has pinned Ray Rowe in the past.
very true, very, very true.
Both men precariously perched on that second and top turnbuckle. Trying to get some leverage, some positioning here. Demarco winds up on top. Beautiful suplex, superplex, if you will. But Demarco took a lot out of himself on that exchange as well.
I know it hurts, but you got to get up. You have to capitalize on this.
And the winner of this matchup meets the winner of Dennis Gregory and Michael the Bomber Facade. I believe both those athletes are watching intently in the back on monitors, watching the most physical, competitive tournament, perhaps of any kind, in IWC history. Again, the mid-ring exchange. When it comes to strikes, when it comes to pain threshold, got to give advantage to Drake Young. When it comes to resourcefulness, you got to go with the Delicious one, Dr. Delicious himself. But when there's striking involved, you got to favor the Psycho Shooter.
Absolutely. Oh.
Demarco, that textbook suplex, that beautiful float over. Gonna hang on with it into the DDT. A delicious combo by Demarco. Is that gonna be enough? No, Drake Younger kicks it.
And I gotta say, Jimmy Demarco, another one known for trying to get into the head of his opponent with some of his prescription for perversion, as he likes to call it.
Indeed.
But we haven't seen that.
But check this out. Pump handle action. Drives him down. That might have been, I believe, the Drake and Bake. Death Valley driver variation, a cover, and that's going to do it. No, Demarco kicked out.
Drake and Bake doesn't work. This ain't Talladega Nights. You got to hit him with something harder than that. Ain't that right, Foghorn?
Yeah,
Nobody asked you. Shut your mouth. Stop.
Wait, set up here, maybe a suplex attempt. Demarco counters beautifully. German suplex. Drake Younger landed awkwardly on that neck and shoulder near fall situation.
All right, you can talk now, Foghorn. What's wrong? You got nothing to say?
I'm fine.
Come on, you stuttering.
Oh, okay. Let's keep some decorum here. Demarco maybe getting a little frustrated here. Drake Younger, sit out powerbomb. Nicely done. Is this going to do it? No, another near fall. And give credit to both men regardless of the outcome here. Fantastic effort. And this is a side of Jimmy Demarco we really don't see that often. Demarco really, for no other reason other than he's forced to fight it out here, is choosing to do so right now. Wait, Demarco cradles Drake Younger. Cradles him, no. Younger back to his feet with a clothesline. Again, the intensity on both men here with the IWC title in the balance. Maybe going for Drake's Landing. This polished off Sebastian Dark. Yesterday afternoon, Demarco knows that countered. Backslide. Demarco driving with the legs. He pinned him. Wow. We got another upset.
Another one. And advancing to the semifinals, Jimmy Delicious Demarco.
Two things. One, textbook backslide pin. Had the weight perfectly positioned. Had him stacked up so he couldn't get the weight off from his shoulders. Two, a great opportunity from Jimmy Demarco. He saw that one chance and made the most of it. Jimmy Demarco marching on to the title. My pick moves on.
The man who survived and won the most prestigious tournament in the Midwest United States has been defeated by Senor Salacious himself, the original Duke of Debauchery, Delicious Jimmy Demarco, and he earned the respect of Drake Younger, a guy who's been all over the world and has fought some of the best and some of the sickest individuals in wrestling. And speaking of sick, the mentally sick, Jimmy Demarco advances to the next round to take on the winner of our next tournament matchup. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Jimmy Demarco, IWC champion, God help us all.
And this next bout is our last quarterfinal round match. Set for one fall and a 30-minute time limit. Introducing to you once again, the former champion from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Disrespect by Dennis Gregory continuously, show after show, month after month, towards Chuck Roberts. Uncalled for.
And you can see the smile on Gregory's face.
The former champion is Dennis Gregory.
Chuck doing his job as a true professional. Dennis Gregory still holding the championship belt that is not rightfully his. But it could be. This is step 2 of potentially 4. And if it wasn't for the fact that he had to wrestle 4 times, I'd consider him an easy odds-on favorite based on how many times he's been to the top. But to win 4 times, as you mentioned, Farnsworth, he has to, and probably does, have a plan.
Absolutely. I'm saying part of the plan was don't show up yesterday. Gave him an advantage over knowing his opponents a little better, a little more.
And on his way to the ring, much like Logan Shulo in our opening matchup, a man about to enter the biggest match of his career.
His opponent roams the streets at night while you sleep. He's Michael the Plumber Facade.
The suburban terrorist, spray paint enthusiast, and former co-holder of the tag team titles. Michael Facade, in a couple hours, could be tagging the championship belt that Dennis Gregory holds so proudly.
You know, I think it says a lot about Facade that earlier, while we were waiting for everything to kick off, Facade was learning some new technique and working through some mat work and whatnot with none other than Low Key.
That's right, Low Key, another special guest of the Steel City Comic-Con this weekend. And I'll tell you what, Michael Facade, a true student of the game. And we've seen him since the very start, Farnsworth. One thing you could say, he's dedicated to his craft, dedicated to improving at as rapid of a rate as humanly possible. And really, Farnsworth, there's no more time left. If you're going to improve at any other point, you got to do it now, because he has his first shot at the IWC title in this tournament.
At this point, it's be great or go home. And as Denny will tell you, the A game's the only game he got. So now, what kind of game can Facade bring to challenge the A game of Dennis Gregory?
We'll see. Some of our early arriving fans were treated to seeing an in-ring workout sparring session between Michael Facade and Low Key. Has Facade learned anything from it that he can utilize in this matchup? We will see, because Dennis Gregory's a far cry from a Low Key. He's not going to get on the ground and wrestle you. He's going to outsmart you, manipulate you, and take a few cheap shots too. What's he going to do? Leave again? We're doing this on my schedule? What do we do? Have another show tomorrow?
Maybe. It certainly would benefit him if he could get it to happen.
Well, that's true. And again, this is an intimidation tactic, a psych-out tactic. Facade, hands on his hips, frustrated. He just wants to wrestle here, and Gregory's throwing him off his game.
Hey! I ain't gonna lie, I love myself. I love me.
Well, there you go. Dennis Gregory's very humble opinion.
Hey! Seriously, what's not to love? That's a fat bastard right there. Look at you.
Gregory doesn't really have his eye on the ball, does he, J-Rocc?
See, I disagree. I'm saying, look at Facade now chomping at the bit.
That's true.
As he said, he's doing this on his schedule.
This matchup gets underway. We'd like to thank Digital Horizons, Tony F., Jimmy Demarco's best friend, as always, for their great work in filming promotional consideration, paid for by the following, as the title tournament continues. Of course, Tony F. not fazed by ringside cameramen leaving for the Terry Garvin School of Self-Defense full-time. Not at all, as Dennis Gregory pushes off Michael Facade to start this matchup. Winner of this matchup, keep in mind, faces Tony F.'s best friend in Delicious Jimmy Demarco.
And once again, Dennis Gregory gets...
Indy legend. I can't afford to get hurt wrestling you, all right?
Good point.
What's he want to buy to the finals? You kidding me?
If he can get it.
He's not going to get it. Gregory's not going to manipulate Norm Connors, Bubba, or anybody else on management.
Well, actually, there's no bad side, so snap away.
Anyway, as I was saying, Dennis Gregory again has an advantage because assuming he's able to get past Michael Facade, he knows who he's facing again. He can plan ahead.
That's right. Certainly Jimmy DeMarco's going to be watching this matchup intently as well. No matter who advances, it's going to be interesting to see that matchup given the history. Michael Facade was almost paralyzed by DeMarco and the family. Meanwhile, Gregory, when he tried to take control of IWC, made Jimmy DeMarco his, lieutenant, assistant, vice president, or some ridiculous title like that.
He had a tie.
Oh, excuse me. Lucky he was wearing anything else at that, but be that as it may. Dennis Gregory, again, continuing to psych out Michael Facade, the biggest matchup of his career. Facade has that big singles win, as we touched on yesterday. He's pinned John McChesney. He has won the tag team titles, and he did beat a very capable Troy Lords yesterday afternoon.
Very true.
But Troy Lords is certainly no Dennis Gregory, and few men are.
Yeah, nothing against Troy Lords on that. It's just honestly, there is only one Dennis Gregory. There are few and far between are the men that know how to manipulate the crowd, the wrestlers, the opponents, the friends, the enemies, the promoters, everyone, the way that Dennis Gregory can.
Extra bit of confidence. Check out the spring by Facade with a moonsault, has the shoulders down for two. This extra bit of confidence in Dennis Gregory is probably in large part due to the fact that the one guy gunning for him the most, fabulous John McChesney, is already out of here. He knows if Gregory makes it to the finals, Gregory will not have to contend with the fabulous one who's rebelling.
Very true.
Went head scissors by the Suburban Terrorist, and the five-time champion, the man who won the heavyweight title, what is it, thrice now? Almost.
Nearing it. Oh.
Facade with a helo to the outside. High-risk situation. Gregory did not see that one coming. Gregory had to work hard just to earn retain his #1 seed, beating Jimmy Vegas a couple of weeks ago in a feud that's gone back really about 6 years now between those two. A love-hate relationship.
Yeah, they have an odd love-hate is right, and this time it landed a little more on hate than love.
Max spills to the outside. Michael Facade with the advantage. Dennis Gregory for the second time tonight having to face a young competitor he's not used to facing. He is not used to scouting for. Gregory, of course, has had to contend with the likes of Ricky Reyes, the Sandman, a number of times, but he may not fully know what Michael Facade's capable of, but he's finding out the hard way. Yeah,
very true, very true. He certainly has some tape to look at, but...
Look out, check out the balance by Facade. Gregory trips him up. And Facade not only landed awkwardly on that steel guardrail, had the steps thrown at him, landed hard on this turf.
And now, just as Denny said, I warned you.
I think Gregory is taking note of the fact that our officials hard thud. Our officials this weekend are having more leniency on the rules as far as disqualifications,
Gone by 5 minutes.
as well as countouts, because we want decisive winners. We want clear-cut winners and losers to advance to these next rounds. Facade trying to show some signs of life here, but Gregory's still pressing on it.
You want a clear-cut winner and loser. Denny doesn't care how he gets to that final.
Well, that's a very accurate statement as well. Gregory, a veteran of some 15 years, so time-tested, and really perhaps better than ever at this point.
And really, I would say Denny's probably looking to get the win as quick a manner as possible, be it count out, be it the other guy DQ'd.
Oh,
if he can injure him even. I don't think he cares.
If he's smart, absolutely. Gregory, despite having the #1 seed, despite being the former champion, as we mentioned, is at the biggest disadvantage because of having to wrestle 4 times.
There might have been some communication there between Denny and the fans.
Well,
in a more non-verbal manner.
That's what you want to call it. Gregory boots the bomber, drops the leg. Is this going to be all? No. Doesn't even attempt to cover here. Has the knee, I believe, across the throat. Facade fights free of Gregory's grasp, but only momentarily. True veteran pressing the advantage.
And you heard Gregory saying he felt that should have been a pin.
Well, Gregory cannot underestimate Michael Facade. Dropped down the inverted DDT. Facade's biggest career wins have come when his opponents have underestimated him. Troy Lawrence probably underestimated him. Dennis Gregory may be underestimating him, and it may be the same result.
And if it underestimating him costs him the belt, then I will not want to be anywhere near Dennis Gregory at that point.
Dennis Gregory lives and thrives on being the heavyweight champion. It has become his identity. If he does not have that belt, the inferiority complex cinches in. He is power hungry and he's an attention hog, plain and simple. Hard forearm shots by the bomber. Maybe looking to hit Gregory in a moment with that Arashikage driver. We saw him plant Lawrence right in his head, knock Lawrence completely out. Lawrence may have some lingering injuries because of that, because that was just a devastating driver.
An Arashikage?
Yes.
What's that mean?
Well, I do know it's Japanese. I know that doesn't help much, but we'll have to talk to Facade about it at some point. Look at this. Oh, again, Gregory. Where the Facade went for a springboard. Gregory tripped him up.
And Gregory did something.
And advancing to the semifinals, Dennis Gregory.
Gregory won that because he did something that no one else in this tournament seems to want to do. He hooked a proper pin. He fell when Facade fell. Gregory got his weight over him, grabbed that leg, and pulled Facade's own weight over his shoulders and was able to hold him for the pin.
That's why he is the most resourceful man in IWC. That's why he's 5-time champion. You don't get 5 titles waiting for the bus. And Dennis Gregory proving why, even though he is not the champion, he may be wearing that belt officially by the end of the night, but give a lot of credit to Facade. Big time performance, breakthrough matches here this weekend at Promotional Consideration, paid for by the following.
Team number 1 hails from Cleveland, Ohio, at a total combined weight of 618 pounds. The team of Shane Taylor and the Big Daddy of Destruction, J-Rocc.
Shane Taylor is 375 pounds of bad attitude and the hand-selected choice of J-Rocc to replace and indeed take out Ray Rowe. Shane Taylor came up just short of taking out Ray Rowe just 24 hours ago. However, tonight, he could bring home the tag team titles of IWC to Cleveland, Ohio.
Shane Taylor is an Escalade wearing wrestling gear. Look at the size of it.
He's a big, big man. We got a lot of other daunting, imposing individuals in this four-team tag team title match.
Escorted to the ring by Gambino and their entourage at a total combined weight of 465 pounds. They hail from Ozone Park, New York, the team of Mickey and Marshall, the Gambino brothers.
While it seems one of the flunkies of the Gambino family, Flexor, is still feeling the effects of a very physical run-in with Low-Key 24 hours ago. The Gambinos ran their mouth. Flexor paid for it in the form of the Warriors' Way.
Let's be honest, Flexor is lucky he's feeling anything. He got stomped into oblivion. And the fact that he's here today is impressive.
Already tempers flaring between the Gambinos and the new Mafia. History.
Team number 3 at a total combined weight of 418 pounds. TJ Cannon, Bruce Maxwell, the best around.
A lot of history between J-Rocc and the Gambino family. On the outside of the ring, the immaculate TJ Cannon and picture perfect Bruce Maxwell, the best around, had an opportunity at the tag team titles a couple of weeks ago. How would you assess their performance in that matchup, Farnsworth?
They did a great job. Really shown why they were able to get a spot in IWC. They didn't come up with the title. I mean, but still, great job.
469 pounds, the team of Justin Ogle, Eric Ecstasy, Sexual Harassment.
Eric Ecstasy and Justin Idol survived a tables, ladders, and chairs match to culminate their series with Babyface Fire and walk out of that trilogy with those tag team belts. But there may be no matchup more unpredictable in IWC than what has sort of become a staple in the International Wrestling Cartel. These wild, fast-paced, adrenaline-fueled 4-team matches.
And Eric Ecstasy is explaining why they're a better tag team than the best around. And I won't repeat why, because it isn't fit for mixed company.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
Oh. Eric has that effect on you a lot.
Yes. It's a little weird.
But why? I saw you guys seemed pretty close in the locker room after the show yesterday.
He's a nice guy, but then everyone starts all these questions and all these innuendos.
You shared a long, endearing hug.
He was upset.
I never had dark meat before.
I'm not going to touch that remark.
I'm not either.
I don't want to know what you've touched.
You and Bolin. This conspiracy theory.
Best around, sexual harassment, J-Rocc and Shane Taylor, the Gambino family, marking their territory, so to speak, at this point. And the only team in the ring currently are the champions. Bobby Williams, referee assigned to this contest. I do not envy Bobby Williams at all.
Oh, well, who would? I mean, look at him. He's 100 pounds soaking wet. He's got a bad haircut. That haircut looks like he lost a dare.
Oh, stop it. Are you trying to say the barber owes him 20 bucks?
I'm saying he owes the barber a fat lip.
Oh. Well, there may be a lot of fat lips in this matchup. If nice guy Mickey Gambino has anything to say about it, a very surly individual, as always, looking, along with Brother Marshall, for a record-setting 5th IWC Tag Team Championship, but a lot of top teams to go through. Of course, Central Harassment, the current champion. J-Rocc has held that title before as well. Mickey and Idol started things out. Of course, you cannot discredit Flexer, Ferrari, Vicky Gambino on the outside of the ring, always trying to cause trouble. Drop kick by Justin Idol. And if Idol can quicken the pace here, he may have the advantage. Keep this a technical or flying style matchup as opposed to the brawl that Mickey may be accustomed to, but Mickey, the more tactical of his team as well.
You have to believe that the advantage, at least as I see it, goes to the Gambinos, because currently there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gambinos at the ring representing their team versus only 2 people for each of the other teams. The Gambinos are masters of the number game. You have to believe with them having Flexor, Ferrari, and Vicky at ringside, they have the advantage.
Well, TJ Cannon just tagged himself in. Mickey tags Marshall in. And Idol and TJ Cannon getting into it. I don't think Idol was ready to come out yet.
Idol not looking too happy.
Well, of course not. The only way to win Farnsworth is to be in the ring. Can't score pinfall from the apron.
Sorry I'm late, Joe. Did I miss anything? I had to take care of Princess Leia out there.
Well, I'm not going to delve into that any further, but you're missing a lot of hot action. We got 4 teams vying for the tag team titles right now, Mr. Bolin. We thank you for rejoining us as we're going to have some fast-paced, uncontrollable action as has become accustomed to the IWC Tag Team Division.
Yeah, we got 4 guys in pink. All right.
Well, we already discussed Farnsworth and his opinions on some of these athletes. So
You had to bring that.
Marshall charging at TJ Cannon, obviously outsized by the near 300-pounder to say the least, but great footwork by TJ Cannon. Best around have had their problems with the Gambinos, stemming back to the Dunk, Jimmy Demarco, and Vicky Gambino festivities from back at Ellsworth Base Brawl. Gambinos took offense to mess around trying to dunk their cohorts.
Yeah, and thus a great feud was born, but really, you do not need to do much.
Great agility with a standing moonsault cover, and no.
You don't need to do much to tick off a Gambino.
Not in the least. And Marshall, he decides he needs a break. Going to tag out J-Rocc and let these guys wear each other down. And now TJ Cannon has made the exchange with his partner, picture-perfect Bruce Maxwell.
In the same ring as me.
And Marshall leaving ringside, actually.
Shut up!
Gambino's trying to regroup here. They look off their game right now. You got to wonder if the infighting or the malfunction involving the family with Jimmy DeMarco sort of branching off onto his own vendetta, not sure where he stands. Got to wonder if that's weighing more heavily on their minds in this tag title match.
J-Rocc looking slim and trim in the ring. He must be on that beefaroni diet from Chef Boyardee. That there would be sarcasm for those of you that don't know.
Well, say what you want about J-Rocc, though he does possess a lot of power in that.
You say so, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. J-Rocc, hey, former cohort of the Tag Team Championship. Very dangerous individual. We've seen him manipulate people in the past. We've seen him screw Ray Rowe.
You are right. He is the big fatty of deconstruction.
I mean, the big daddy of destruction.
Oh,
But, we respect your opinion as well.
Who's laughing now? Nobody except me.
And certainly, J-Rocc's got Shane Taylor on his side, too. And anything you may think that J-Rocc may lack, Mr. Bolin, I think Shane Taylor can make up for it.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you credit there.
Check out Cannon. Springs up his partner down with the elevated senton. Could be all here to win now. Near fall situation. Not going to beat J-Rocc that early.
Also worth noting, missing from ringside, Bald Evil Vendetta.
Yes.
Not there with the family. Not showing any form of allegiance one way or the other in this.
Oh! Huge diving clothesline by Bruce Maxwell. Cover or no. And J-Rocc. Oh, wait a second. Big guy got tagged in here. And J-Rocc measures Maxwell for the onslaught of 375 pounds. If we thought Shane Taylor was dangerous before, imagine now that he's angry over losing to Ray Rowe and he's face to face with the bisexual bulldozer.
5 minutes gone by. 5 minutes.
Bulldozer.
Oh!
I guess you're right on that count there, Jeff.
There's some of that dark meat. And firing back and forth, center of the ring.
I wasn't even involved in that. I got to go wash my mouth out.
Mr. Farnsworth, are you jealous?
Oh, I'm gagging.
I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Bionic elbow by Eric Ecstasy. As I try to march away from that reference as quickly as possible, Eric Ecstasy went for a slam, but couldn't support the way to a no.
A valiant effort by Eric Ecstasy, but didn't have the legs on it, apparently.
Did far more harm than good, gentlemen. And Shane
Eric
Taylor.
Ex-Lax needs to, he's got to get to that gym again if he's going to pick up 375 pounds, that's for sure.
I would say Eric, arguably in the best shape of his career.
Very true, but we're talking about a 375-pound man.
Check out the miscue in the corner, Bolin. Shane Taylor and J-Rocc collide, the meeting of the minds, and Ecstasy and Idol double team here. Trying to, I believe, Russian leg sweep Taylor, but J-Rocc intervenes. And it looks like the Gambino are going to have something to do with this, at least Mickey. And now Bruce Maxwell, now Marshall.
They're all fighting for position on this.
And TJ Cannon going to put the icing on the cake. Drop kicks Eric, and 7 bodies come tumbling down.
They all fell in this odd, wacky contraption of a move. TJ Cannon, the smartest one of the bunch.
I think TJ may have hurt himself on that one. He's rolled to the outside of the ring as well. Idol, the only one left.
Odd, wacky contraptions. You know a lot about this.
We're back in that dangerous territory.
I don't know what you're inferring to.
And we have 7 men beating the hell out of each other on the outside, and Idol is feeling it. The aerial icon maybe gonna fly with a crossbody to the outside. The Pescado connects. Justin Idol spreads out his body weight for maximum impact on as many bodies as possible.
And you can tell by the disgusted look on Vicky's face, this is not going how the Gambinos wanted it to go.
Not at all. At one point, they were an untouchable, no pun intended, powerful family in this company.
There might have been a little pun intended.
Well, perhaps. The most dominant group we've ever seen. But now, it seems they're at a crossroads. And check out TJ Cannon. This guy's a daredevil. This guy's an aerialist.
Oh!
Shooting star to the floor!
And how high up was he?
Can you believe it? Gotta be about 10 or 12 feet from our turf here. Unprotected turf. And the best around solidifying their reputation as a top team. They would love to win the tag team titles.
And the 2 big men back in the ring.
Got Eric Ex-Lax against
Eric Ecstasy.
Eric Ecstasy, I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm bad with names.
It's been a long weekend, I understand.
It really has.
Well, wait, double team attempt coming up.
And Ex-Lax into the, he hits the big boy.
Huge splash.
Ecstasy. One more time for Ecstasy.
Second time.
There we go again.
Well, check this out. Going to use his partner as a slingshot is Eric. Idol send it to Shane Taylor, mentioned him with a forearm. And referee Williams, I think he's pretty much given up trying to control this matchup.
And down go Ex-Lax and Justine Idol very hard.
Assuming you're not a big sexual harassment fan, Mr. Bowler.
I'm not a fan of anybody but myself.
Oh, that's true.
Big hard club by Shane Taylor.
And to the back again now of Maxwell. And the new Cleveland Mafia taking over on the best round. Best around have a big-time reputation on the East Coast. Philly, Jersey, Maryland. Hoping to become a dominant team here in Pittsburgh as well. They've come close. This could be their night. Double shoulder tackle. That's over 600 pounds he just ran into.
I feel it's worth noting that the one team staying out of all of this fracas is the Gambinos. They are just kneeling at their position in the ring and just letting everyone else beat the tar out of each other.
To me, it's a very smart tactical move.
There goes J-Rocc, and Taylor takes the best around to the outside. One half of the champions is on top now. Justin Idol waiting for Shane Taylor. Taylor does not realize it. Watch Idol. Caught in midair like a little baby. But Ecstasy with a spear gets sexual harassment. Pin the big man. Both men on top. They did it. I believe that's that. They're out of there.
J-Rocc and Shane Taylor are eliminated.
And Shane Taylor is not taking it well.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Our first team is out, but I'm not sure they're aware of it.
J-Rocc just fed the best around into the ring.
I think J-Rocc and Shane Taylor feel if they can, oh God!
Oh, devastating clothesline. Devastating clothesline.
How long before TJ Cannon wakes up? And there's the team. They didn't win the belts, so I guess they think no one should.
Some lucky fan got Cannon's head as a souvenir.
But look at who has the advantage here, gentlemen. The one team that's been out of this for about 5 minutes. Mickey Gambino. Well, he's pretty proud of himself. Pretty proud of the situation.
He is just mocking everyone in the ring.
Marshall putting the boots to Eric on the outside. And Mickey having his way with 3 guys in the ring right now because nobody can put up a fight after the mauling from J-Rocc and especially Shane Taylor. Bruce Maxwell trying to fight back, but how much does he have left? Cannon somehow back into play. I don't know how that happened. Double team, neckbreaker combo. Nicely done, but can they follow through? They just have trouble getting their feet.
And sexual harassment still down, just laying there.
Double leapfrog. Marshall on the receiving end. Huge drop kick right to the face. Right to the face. Well, a bit of a premature celebration here. Roll up by Harassment. And the best around are out of there. They took their eye off the ball and forgot there was a 13.
Right, they did.
Eliminated.
2 guys in pink beat the other 2 guys in pink.
Does that mean they're not the best around anymore?
Well, officially no.
That would seem to be the case there, Foghorn.
You got to have the belts to be the best, and it comes down to these 2 tag teams. Either the current champions or the former 4-time tag team champions, the Gambino family. Keep in mind Flexer, Ferrari, Vicky Gambino, still close by. On the inside, Rose Creeper time. Oh, wait a second. TJ Cannon just took a chair and just hit Eric Ecstasy in the back. Idol now sees it, and Maxwell just clobbered Idol in the head, and Eric got it too. Another team that are sore losers.
Well, there's definitely been friction between the 2 teams, and I guess the best around just decided to take it to that next level.
The best around make a big-time statement here, and they just screwed sexual harassment. We have new tag team champions, gentlemen.
Is it official, Joe?
Let's go up to Chuck Roberts, get the official word. Roberts wants to have consultation with Bobby Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners, and once again,
they did it.
IWC Tag Team Champions, the Gambino Brothers.
The family hides the evidence in the best around's chairs. Apparently the best around felt that that the sexual harassment deserved it for eliminating them. I guess they have their little sore over being put out of this matchup. So if they couldn't win the belts, they don't want sexual harassment to win the belts. Seems like that issue continues to grow and escalate. But now for a record-setting 5th time, this may be exactly what the Gambino family needed to get back on track. Farnsworth, they're once again the tag champions.
Once again, they got an assist from an unlikely source, but they capitalized on it. Smart game plan from the beginning. Stay out of the way, let everyone else do the work. The Gambinos walking off with 2 gold straps.
Gambinos don't care how they got it, just that they did get it. Now, will Mickey and Marshall Gambino, with the rest of the family, rise to the lengths and heights of power they once were? And how will sexual harassment fire back on the Gambinos or on the best around?
Where's Norm?
Oh.
Where's Norm at?
Oh, wait a second.
Norm!
CJ Sensation,
Let's go!
with his bag already in his gear. He doesn't work here. Why is he wearing his wrestling gear? He does not work in this company. He got fired by Bubba the Bulldog for claiming he was the boyfriend of Miley Cyrus, which is both illegal and creepy.
Here, I got my stuff.
And he apparently showed up wanting to wrestle.
Right now.
Can you not take a hint? He's not wanted here by Norm, by Bubba, by anybody.
Well, is Norm willing to supersede Bubba in this case?
I don't think so.
You want a match right now?
Oh.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. 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 You win, back in IWC. Deal? Okay, go ahead, back in. Good for you. Good for you.
I don't have a feeling CJ's walking into a trap.
Thinking about you, ironically, I know I wasn't on the toilet.
This didn't pay off well the last time someone came in and said, I demand a
decision, and I
match.
hope everybody's okay with it. Tonight, Jason Gory, Super Hentai, Delirious, and Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney are competing in a four-way. And since Johnny Gargano is no longer able to compete as a Super Indy champion, we're going to crown a new Super Indy champion tonight.
That's hot news. I love it.
Absolutely.
However, I can't help but think of the first Super Indy tournament in 2002.
Oh, no.
You were part of that tournament, weren't you? You had a great match. You had a lot of babyface fire. You fired up. And your opponent... Wait, do you have an opponent's music? What the hell? Hit the music. You got a match.
Is that why Norm's so excited?
Oh, no.
The feeling of dread has just fallen in the body of CJ Sensation. It was back in March of 2002, the first round of the first Super Indy tournament. The then Kid Sensation against Low Key almost literally had his head kicked from his shoulders in what is perhaps the most famous and infamous moment of CJ's entire near 10-year career. And CJ was never the same, and it may be time for a little deja vu. And this is what you get, Farnsworth, when you cross the boss and embarrass the company. The IWGP champion of the junior heavyweight division.
CJ Sensation's opponent is the reigning IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion,
Loki not impressed by CJ Sensation's travel bags, but will be impressed if Jay Warren at Farnsworth is Saturday, November 8th. It's called November Pain 2008. The next great DVD release from IWC and DH Videos. And I'll tell you this, it's going to be Low Key and it's going to be Too Cold Scorpio for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And that's a match that's going to get worldwide appeal. And this matchup is starting off before the bell. Preemptive strike by CJ Sensation. He can get his job back, but he's got to beat Low Key, a.k.a. Senshi, former TNA X Division champion, World Tag Team champion, and one of the toughest individuals ever. Sensation fires away, hoping to redeem himself from Super Indy 1 back in 2002. But Low Key is here to prepare for Scorpio, prepare for a defensive title he holds so dearly. And there's the title crush by Low Key, the very educated feet, as they say, of the Warrior.
And CJ knows he has to avoid stuff like this. He does not want to take these kicks. And he's
leaving?
smart.
If he leaves, he's gone for good. And Low Key is not going to let that happen. Low Key is all about fighting spirit and respect and vicious chops. I think that just made Low Key matter.
Yeah.
A heart-stopping impact.
Oh, my Lord. You talked about the educated feet, but the hands are pretty smart too, Joe. Oh.
Cannot deny that. Who knows what it's going to be like when Low Key gets in there with another individual with very fancy footwork and heavy strikes in Too Cold Scorpio. CJ able to send Low Key into the second turnbuckle, do whatever he can here. Hard slam. And CJ gonna go high risk.
Well, he knows he needs to end this quickly.
And if he can get back into IWC this way, by God, he deserves it. But nobody home with a senton. And Low-Key is back to his feet.
Oh.
Look out. Into the corner with a title crush. And Low-Key is ready to finish this off. Low-Key not getting paid by the hour. The Warriors way, the ghetto stomp. Good night, Mr. Sensation. Back to the unemployment line.
Can we get a doctor or possibly a mortician?
Your winner, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Low-Key.
A very emphatic physical statement that does more than anything we could say. Certainly Low-Key ready for Too Cold Scorpio in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Defense, November Pain 2008. CJ Sensation ready for a hospital visit. Farnsworth, you got anything?
Lord. No. I mean, he just stomped him in what looked like the throat from here.
With reckless abandon, Low-Key does his job and leaves. It's Low-Key.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is our first semi-final round match, set for one fall and a 45-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, from the Philippines, fans, this is Shima Xion.
This IWC title tournament, in many respects, has been a tournament of upsets. And one of those upsets you have to consider would be the elimination of fabulous John McChesney in only the quarterfinal round, thanks in large part to a very deserving Shima Xion. But can he pull off an upset twice? Can he defeat a near unstoppable, perhaps not even human, wrecking machine? The daunting music plays. It may be about to seal the fate of the future of fashion. They met in tags, never one-on-one.
Once again, his opponent from Cleveland, America, weighing in at 236 pounds, Ray Rowe.
The baddest man in IWC has overcome his biggest personal threat in J-Rocc and Shane Taylor. He has overcome perhaps the newest threat to IWC, the new horror Sami Callihan. But now, perhaps the most well-rounded and colorful and energetic threat in Shima Xion. Xion has been in more tournaments, but Rowe is trained for endurance as well in mixed martial arts. Bell sounds are underway. I am Joe Dombrowski here at the commentation station, as it were. Jay Worth and Farnsworth had to help escort CJ Sensation to the outside of the building, as he does not work here. I'm not sure where John Bolin is, and with John Bolin, you never really know. But I will bring you this tremendous semifinal round matchup here. Shima Xion, one-on-one with Ray Rowe. Winner of this matchup is all the way to the finals. This is going to be the last step before the biggest matchup of this weekend. And Ray Rowe and Shima have come so far. They know they don't want to make any mistakes. They know they don't want to lapse in concentration for one single second. Anybody left in this tournament is good enough to capture a quick pinfall, catch somebody by surprise, pull off any trick in their sleeve from their extensive experience wherever they may have wrestled. Of course, for Shima, multiple countries, Ray Rowe, all over the tri-state area and abroad, certainly mixed martial arts as well. Ray Rowe competed in that before his concussions, and we are seeing a feeling out process early on. Rowe went for a wild swing, but you see Shima with that quickness able to duck underneath very quickly. And Rowe scoops a single or a double leg takedown, excuse me, tries to trap the shoulders. But Shima Xion, with great agility, springs up to his feet with a Hurricane Rana, but Rowe back with a knife edge chop. And Rowe another knife edge. Rowe, again, one of the top strikers in this business. Tough to top low-key, but Ray Rowe is certainly right up there. Shima charged through with an elbow. Another head of steam, but Ray Rowe catches him. Shima balances himself on the apron. These physical shots, and Shima, oh God! Shima got sent for a loop off of the apron as I'm now rejoined by J-Rocc and Farnsworth. Back to the station here. Mr. Farnsworth, how is CJ Sensation and what corner of the sidewalk did you lay him on?
Actually, I'm not sure where he ended up. I walked him to the door. He was breathing. He was okay. He was having a little trouble talking, but very visibly upset. Hopefully going to a doctor. Hopefully.
Well, that's true. At least didn't look too out of place at this convention, dressed in his gear for crying out loud.
Good point. Good point.
Ray Rowe now pressing the advantage on the outside. When this match goes to the outside, I got to favor Ray Rowe.
Yeah. Well, just in general, I think this match favors Ray Rowe.
Oh, that too, absolutely. I touched on it a moment ago. Shima Xion pulled off what you got to consider at least a mild upset. Knocking John McChesney out of the quarterfinals. He was an odds-on favorite in many people's opinions. But can Shima Xion somehow pull the rabbit out of the hat twice? Oh, God. Oh, body slam. Shades of Shima Xion in tournaments past.
Oh. Yeah, the Notorious 187 certainly did no favors to Shima Xion and his lower lumbar region.
Not at all. Homicide certainly left a lasting impression in Shima Xion. Ray Rowe certainly been scouting Shima Xion's tournament action. And Ray Rowe continues to press the advantage. He's got the power, he's got the size. If he keeps Shima Xion confined or within Rowe's own grasp, Rowe has the advantage.
Absolutely. Now, back in the ring, Shima at least has a fighting chance. This is where he's not going to be able to use that speed, use that quickness outside of the ring. Inside the ring, he needs to get to his feet. Ray Rowe, smart, keeping him grounded, keeping him down, and in a move like that surfboard-type maneuver he has him in, makes it hard to breathe as well as restricting the arm motion. So,
do you give an advantage to either side so far as how much they've had taken out of them in the prior round earlier today?
Yeah, to a degree, yes, definitely.
I'll check this out. Dragon stretch by Ray Rowe. That's a full Nelson. Torquing back. Look at the positioning of the back and the shoulders of Shima Xion. That looks sickening. Not the way the body's meant to bend.
No, normally at that point.
Shoulders down, 2-0. Both guys have been through very tough matches. Shima wills himself up.
See, I would say Shima actually has a slight advantage in that he has faced people much more his size, hasn't taken the beating that Ray Rowe has against Ray
Rowe explodes with a belly-to-belly release suplex and the cover for 2.5.
Or a Sami Callihan.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Keep in mind, the longer these matchups go, I believe 30-minute time limit in these later round matches. The longer these matches go, I'm only going to favor a guy like Shima Xion, who's carrying less body weight, has more endurance, certainly. Not to say Ray Rowe doesn't, but you got to go with the smaller of the two in that respect.
No, I would. Were it not for the fact that Ray Rowe in excellent condition with that. All of the MMA training gives you a lot more endurance. So for a person his size, normally I would agree with you. I'd say they're probably evenly matched, which in turn gives the advantage almost to Ray Rowe, because Shima Xion's used to being able to outlast his opponent, for lack of a better term. He has the
look at that! Rowe just scooped him up from the ground and in one felt motion dropped him back on the back of his head. 2-0. Shima gets his foot on the rope, barely. But can you believe that was no momentum, no leverage at all? That was strictly raw power.
That was just picking him up and putting him down. Same as if he was picking up a gum wrapper.
Yeah, that was about a 190-pound deadlift from the ground and just tossed it over his head. Shima Xion fighting back, but Rowe with a block. MMA instincts, and again that discus form. Roaring elbow, if you'd like to call it that. And Shima Xion is motionless right now.
And Ray Rowe is saying he's knocked him out. Count him.
That may be true. Shima just barely being able to stir. These men have encountered each other many times in tag team competition. And we've seen Rowe throw Shima Xion and a number of other athletes around, with the greatest of ease these past couple of years. Shima Xion with a chance to gain a little bit of redemption here. Shima a bit more adept to singles competition than Ray Rowe. And I think Ray Rowe, the usually emotionless assassin, is showing a little bit of remorse here.
And Shima, normally a relatively nice and calm guy, angry. He is saying, "Fight me! I am not giving this tournament up.
I think
if you wanna win the title, you have to go through me."
I think Rowe is sensing that Shima Xion is vulnerable, and Rowe could finish Shima off right now and probably hurt him pretty severely in the process, but he has too much respect for him. And,
that's not what you do to Ray Rowe.
You got to admire the guts, but Shima Xion, the competitor, may have just signed his tournament and perhaps life-death warrant. Oh my God.
A flurry of offense from Shima Xion.
Shima giving everything he has but one shot to the head, daces him and puts him back down. And Rowe just gonna maul him, just gonna charge through him. Knee strikes. And again, Shima is down and pretty much motionless.
Oh. And I hate to say this because I like the kid, but Shima has it all coming. This is what he was asking for. Maybe next year we can name this the Shima Xion Memorial Tournament.
Well, Shima Xion certainly is not going to go down without a fight. If he's got an ounce of fight left in him, he'll keep going.
He's back up.
We've seen him survive. Mafia hits, thumbtacks, cages, but these shots having no effect on Ray Rowe. Look out, T-bone, dropped him. Right on the back of the head goes Shima Xion, but the knee strike, nobody home, and Rowe lands on his susceptible head.
Oh.
Shima up, pistol. He got it. Is this going to be enough, though? Can he get the shoulder down? Just barely. And Rowe over to grab the rope.
He was barely able to roll him over onto his back. Shima has to tap into the reserves, I think, at this point. He can't have much left.
Bible block coming up. Perfectly positions the knees, traps the legs, but Ray Rowe able to escape it again. The kick to the butt of the jaw. A second Bible Black. Again, a perfect pinning combination. Again, Rowe escaped. Rowe is superhuman, and Shima Xion knows this. But still, Shima Xion
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Shima Xion continues to fight on.
Shima Xion, frustrated, threw both of those elbow pads off. Oh, and he's lighting him up with a couple elbows. Oh, no.
Ray Rowe with a chaos theory. Can he get him over? Shima stops himself in midair, rolls him up for another near fall. I can't remember anybody getting this many near falls on Rowe. And a hell of a clothesline. That's going to do it. Ray Rowe, no, get a kick out.
And right now, Ray Rowe has to be wondering, what is it going to take? He has not been taking it easy on Shima since the slap.
Again, as the night progresses, the intestinal fortitude of these athletes continues to grow. And the shellacking they have taken keeps getting upped as time goes on. Crisscross, Rowe met him with the knees. And now, Death Row coming up. It'll knock Shima out. Shima, roller up. Beautiful weight positioning. He gets it again.
Oh, my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner. And in the finals, Shima Xion.
Now, Jay William Farnsworth, I know you, myself, been students of this game for many years. You've been around a long time. I don't remember ever being more shocked at a match outcome. There have been bigger upsets, but I don't remember being more shocked at a match outcome than seeing this, considering what is on the line and who Ray Rowe is and what Ray Rowe has become.
We talk about David and Goliath all the time, but this is the best example I've seen of it in forever. I don't know that anyone thought Shima Xion was going to get past Ray Rowe. I'm not sure he's going to get out of the ring alive. Ray Rowe looks like he wants to eat him.
Ray Rowe is irate, but Shima Xion has defeated, arguably, the two top favorites in this tournament, back-to-back in succession. He can barely stand, but by God, he's going to the finals. And how will the emotionless assassin react? Ray Rowe showing the discipline that came from his training. Ray Rowe knows Ray Rowe made the mistake. He could have finished this matchup about 7 minutes ago, but he showed compassion, a very rare thing for Ray Rowe to do, and now you see why. Shima persevered, dug down deep, and found a way.
And now, either Dennis Gregory or Jimmy Demarco has to think, if I can get past this next round, I got a pretty good shot. That is not a 100% Shima Xion. I don't even think that's a 50% Shima Xion at this point.
What does Shima Xion have left, if anything? We are about to find out shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following semi-final round bout will determine who faces Shima Xion in the finals of the championship tournament. Introducing, weighing in at 208 pounds, fans, this is Delirious Gambino.
Well, 6 weeks ago, we thought that Jimmy Demarco would not even make it into the tournament. We thought he was going to lay down and forfeit his spot. Could you believe? Only 6 weeks later, Jimmy Demarco's in the semifinal round, staring down a 5-time former heavyweight champion. But what's with this get-up?
He's got a hoodie and a towel. I don't know.
What is he doing, calisthenics back there? Is he training to go the distance?
Yeah, maybe he's got a tight muscle. He's trying to keep it warm. What? Why are you laughing? What?
Getting into you and Jimmy's muscles.
I'm not gay.
His opponent and former champion, weighing in at 228 pounds, Dennis Gregory.
Well, Gregory's beaten a couple of individuals he was not very familiar with, Logan Shulo and Facade. He is now facing a man that all of us can't help but be all too familiar with. Prime Minister of Perversion, the Lord of Lewd, the original Duke of Debauchery, the Pope, indeed, of growth. Dr. Delicious, will his prescription lead him to gold? These men have been aligned before, Gregory and Demarco. Gregory tried to recruit Demarco for his cabinet when Gregory took over IWC for about 45 minutes.
Well, I should point out, when Dennis Gregory joined us on commentary at the last show,
I'm sure that was pleasant.
He one of the matches he watched was the match for Jimmy Demarco. And he said, yeah, he's a smart kid. He knows what he's doing. But maybe he got the scout a little bit, too. You figure there's unequivocally the advantage goes to Dennis Gregory in this.
I would say so. But the question is, how is Jimmy Demarco's tactics going to compare to Dennis Gregory's
And
tactics?
what-
Wait a second.
What did he find?
I'm not sure.
An object of some sort.
Well,
A spike?
I don't know. That'd be one of those Jimmy Jacobs, Kevin Sullivan spikes. Well, it seems both men are on the same playbook.
Oh, wait.
At least we know Coulter's going to call us down the middle. I think Gregory has chosen a very sensitive location to hide some sort of object. Farnsworth, you want to go help Coulter?
No.
Oh.
They do not pay me nearly enough to what the?
Well, Chuck Roberts is forming a collection at ringside.
Well.
All right, now Coulter has a tough decision to figure out what's what and what's supposed to be there. What's anatomical and what's illegal. It was a good try. You need every advantage you can get against Denny Gregory. He got a hammer in his pants?
Hey, I'm not gonna. I'm not touching that statement.
Was it a ball peen? Well, now what?
Brass knuckles.
It looks like nuts, yeah. Well, good thing these guys aren't wearing shirts or we'd be here all night.
Actually, Jimmy Demarco is. We might be here all night.
You have a bulletproof vest on. You never know.
Flashlight. There's no lights in the locker room. Again, I'm fixing my belt. What? All right, thank you. Here. Anything else?
There's a chain, I think?
It's time to... Oh, what is Demarco out with the back of his tights? Get out of here. This is ridiculous. Jimmy Demarco is trying to... Tony F., I'm sure I hope we have a good shot of Jimmy Demarco's backside, and I can't believe I just said that. Well, the boots are clean. Jimmy's got something sharp in his pants. How would we officially classify that, Farns? Was that a dagger?
Oh, yeah, I'd go with dagger. Looks more ceremonial than...
What kind of ceremony has he been doing with a knife?
Do you really want to know?
No, I do not want to know what.
If you don't want a scary answer, don't ask scary questions.
I believe he's claiming he was shaving his head, which I don't think is true. I don't want to know what a sexual deviant is doing with a knife or any of these other objects he has.
To declare, we need a metal detector at the curtain. Let's go.
Nothing further to declare. They have passed through IWC Customs.
Shut up! Hey, you mind? We're trying to wrestle over here.
I believe now the Comic-Con is making an official announcement you cannot sneak hammers into the convention in your tights. Or daggers.
Or chains, spikes.
Brass knucks. Well, Dennis Gregory and Jimmy Demarco. Jimmy Demarco is unquestionably...
Clearly wasted enough time.
All right, let's see what they're going to say here. Well, Gregory and Demarco quickly coming to blows here, but I'll tell you what, Demarco is the most mentally unstable.
And they both went to the eyes.
Individual. Keep in mind, Farnsworth, though, Dennis Gregory. This goes with my point. Dennis Gregory was Jimmy Demarco when Jimmy Demarco was still in middle school. I mean, Dennis Gregory's been doing this a long, long time.
Very true, but apparently they both read the same book.
How do you call this, Farnsworth? Wait, Bulldog. Thought for a moment he might have been going for that C4. But Demarco is in control right now. What a story it's been for Demarco. Talk about an overachiever to advance this far. The most controversial man in the history of Pittsburgh wrestling. Maybe the next champion. Oh, Dennis Gregory. Another great pinfall by Dennis Gregory. That's been his staple this entire tournament. And here again. Textbook technical pinfall attempts by Gregory here, and a third one in a row. Gregory's using his veteran instincts to beat some of these younger guys he's been put up against.
And Delicious is I don't know. I think he might have been relying on the
shoulder first to the post, and that's no laughing matter.
Oh. No, no laughing matter's a moonsault.
I understand that. Thank you, Bill DeMott. But Jimmy Demarco certainly in a great degree of pain here as this matchup turns serious quickly. And Gregory going to isolate and focus on that shoulder. All Gregory needs is one small, tiny weakness to exploit, and he's created that right now with Jimmy Demarco.
Oh, it's not a small weakness. He just busted his shoulder pretty good.
And we've talked about this tournament weekend being a night of upsets in some cases. Got to consider Jimmy Demarco's path to the tournament somewhat. Well, Jimmy Demarco in general is usually upsetting, but he's committed a couple of upsets here with M-Dog 20 and Drake Younger. Can he do it again with Dennis Gregory? Much like we asked with Shima, does Demarco have another rabbit in the hat?
Well, yeah, I hope so.
And if Dennis Gregory is going to use the outside elements to his advantage here, it may be advantage Dennis Gregory, but again, these men are so similar, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
I think Gregory has been getting away with it for longer, but I think Demarco takes it to sicker, more demonic levels.
Yeah, I would say the key to Denny's genius is that he knows how to have that one thing where he doesn't get caught. It doesn't matter how many times he gets caught. It's the one time he doesn't, and that's what counts.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas Jimmy Demarco gets caught, but no one wants to go near it because it's kind of disgusting and probably a little slimy.
I would agree with that fully, Mr. Farnsworth. But right now, Jimmy Demarco has been able to get the upper hand. Well, I don't know what Demarco was going for there.
I don't.
Dennis Gregory, thankfully for his sake and our sake probably as well, counted out of it.
He might have been trying to get him to suck his muscles.
I hope that was another hammer. Gregory sets Demarco on the top turnbuckle. And Demarco elbows his way free. Can he capitalize? Dr. Delicious.
Got the foot up.
Looking for something here. Looking to outsmart the champion. Signaling for it. DDT. Took too much time to do whatever the hell he just did. Ref Coulter got it. Gregory got it. The Delicious one is the only one, I was going to say of sound mind, but that's not true. But he's the only one alert right now.
And he's smiling and happy about it.
And we got some company on the ramp. We can get a shot of this. The family is paying a visit to their cousin. And it looks like with Ref Coulter down, maybe some family unity here now that the tag titles are back in their stable. It looks like they maybe want to finish off Dennis Gregory.
And Jimmy,
wait a second. The Gambinos just assaulted their own cousin. And Demarco, double spine buster, elevates Jimmy Demarco.
That's what you get, Jimmy. There's only one group in the family that has the gold, not you.
And it seems like Demarco, refusing to lay down for Mickey Gambino, continues to stick in the crawl of the Gambino brothers. But now we got Vendetta, Bald Evil, the tag partner of Jimmy Demarco. We still don't know what he thinks. We may find out. And so may the brothers Gambino. And Vendetta, sickened by his partner. As loony and as hard to deal with as Jimmy Demarco is, he is still the tag partner of Vendetta, and Vendetta is taking care of the Gambino family.
Vendetta clearly chose his side, and I guess looked to equalize what happened in the ring there.
And Coulter's up. We're back to square one. Gregory just now getting to his feet. Demarco still hurt. This is still a semi-final round matchup. The winner of this matchup faces Shima Xion in the tournament finals. And Gregory gonna get a cover. Is he gonna steal this? Demarco, easy spot. Now Demarco got out.
Jimmy Demarco showing he still has something left in the tank. He severed all ties to try and get a shot at this title. He's not giving it up that easy.
Dennis Gregory. As Demarco, powerbomb attempt here perhaps. Can he balance the weight? No, Demarco able to wriggle free. And Demarco is trying to regroup, grind away at Gregory, and he hit the C4. Candy coated cookie cutter. Could he pin the former champion? Jimmy Demarco just did it.
Oh my God!
The man who will face Shima Xion in the
The man who was never defeated in ring to end his last title reign just got pinned straight up in the middle by delicious Jimmy Demarco.
The candy-coated cookie cutter came out of nowhere. I think Denny, he had him in a headlock, and I think Denny was just trying to think, where am I going to go from here? How do I get out? And Jimmy sees the opportunity. Caught him in between breaths, as it were.
It looked to be, at a moment's glance, a regrouping opportunity. But once Demarco realized he already had that grasp on Gregory's head, the only thing left to do was deliver the C4. Demarco is pinned, perhaps the greatest champion in IWC history. We have a Demarco Shima Xion final. Who would have seen that coming? And Dennis Gregory, the reality setting in. It is now confirmed the championship he's still carrying will not be his at the end of this broadcast.
We certainly thank you for joining us here this afternoon. We got 2 more to go. Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, the following fatal 4-way match is set for 1 fall, a 30-minute time limit, and it will be for the IWC Super Indy Championship.
Well, our previous Super Indy champion, Johnny Gargano, will go down in history as one of the shortest Super Indy title reigns of all time. Never got to defense number 1. Thanks to his rigorous schedule, Gargano.
Challenger number 1, weighing in at 190 pounds, 1/2 of babyface fighter, Jason Gory.
Gargano suffered a hairline fracture of his lumbar vertebrae. Attempted to work through it, and it's expected he'll miss several months due to injury. He had no choice, did Gargano, but to surrender the Super Indy title. He could not meet the 90-day title defense rule, and thus 4-way matchup for a new champion tonight.
Escorted to the ring by Daisy Hayes from the age of 70, weighing in at 205 pounds, Delirious.
And Farnsworth, we have a 4-way matchup between 4 former Super Indy champions. Inside of the ring, Jason Gory, youngest Super Indy champion of all time, only held the belt for about an hour and a half as he won the belt. And I believe Super Indy 6 had to surrender it to the tournament winner that evening. Gory would love another crack at the gold. Delirious, he won Super Indy 5. Tremendous effort. Held the belt for several months. Now, he, along with his personal interpreter, Daisy Hayes, try to bring the belt home to the edge of sanity again. And now Farnsworth, the most prolific Super Indy champion, set to make his way to the ring. The man that made the division, made the championship, and made himself at the first Super Indy tournament.
Challenger number 3, trained in Hayabusa, Japan, weighs in at 195 pounds, Super Hentai.
Super Hentai won the Super Indy Championship at Super Indy 1. Among the many defeated that night, CM Punk, future World Heavyweight Champion. The Fallen Angels, Christopher Daniels, future and at that time present internationally renowned star. Super Hentai went on to defeat men like Colt Cabana, to test men like AJ Styles, take them to their limit, and to take the Super Indy title to Japan and defend it in the WMF promotion. And it's time for 12 guards, baby! A new sound, but I'm sure the same old swagger from the winner of Super Indy 6. The man Jason Gory had to surrender his title belt too.
And finally, from Redondo Beach, California, weighing in at 215 pounds, the sweet and sour one, Larry Sweeney.
Well, Larry Sweeney, multiple time Super Indy champion, also, of course, multiple time holder of the ICW, ICWA, Texarkana Television Championship, Sweeney's personal belt that is not recognized as an official title of any one organization.
We recognize it. Why do you refuse to recognize our recognition?
I've been wrestling in Pittsburgh a long time, and I've really enjoyed it. But when I arrived here tonight at the Comic-Con, I said, you know what? I'm going to look around. I'm going to take a real good look. I'm going to take a picture, because God help me, I will never come back to this stinking place again.
Wow.
Keep it down over there. Hey, all you comic book fans, why don't you try, instead of picking up the comic books back there, going out to the bar and picking up a lady like Larry Sweeney does every single night? Huh? That's right, you're nodding along, but you have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's be honest about that. Let's talk about that for 1 second. I'm a world-renowned lover and the best wrestler in the IWC.
Boyfriend said you weren't that.
Hey, keep it quiet, Four Eyes. I'll slap. I don't care about that cane. You understand that? Let's talk about that for 1 second. You all have the pleasure of seeing the best wrestler ever in Pittsburgh in this ring right now. And it's something that, God help me, will never, ever, 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 ever happen again.
I don't think he's coming back to the Comic-Con, Farnsworth.
I guess not. Hopefully I'm not either.
You think he was offended by our Ghostbusters fans watching in the back of the building right now?
I heard one of the Gamorrean guards.
Larry Sweeney, of course, is the 1,000-time, 21-time ICW, GGA, Texarkana Television Champion, AARP, CCHD.
I don't think that was good recognition on Chuck Roberts' part. Well, that belt is not the story here. The story is the vacant Super Indy title, usually only vacated once per year, but as you mentioned, the injury to Johnny Gargano, preventing him from defending his championship in the mandatory time frame. And there you see the pride.
And it's worth pointing out, no longer going to be surrendered. It is now just a belt.
Indeed.
We are no longer doing the Super Indy tournament.
Of course, last ever Super Indy tournament winner, Jerry Lynn. So many great men have held the Super Indy title. Think about Colt Cabana. Think about Delirious, Larry Sweeney, John McChesney. So many great athletes. AJ Styles on a couple of occasions. Chris Sabin held the belt for many, many months.
I held it.
Well, physically in your hands, perhaps, but not.
That's 9 cents in the law, right?
You are not a recognized champion. The bell rings. Delirious goes nuts. Delirious, the half man, half lizard, the most unpredictable athlete in IWC today.
And you suck!
What did he say?
He said, you're cool, and you suck. I was one of the cool guys.
No, you were not.
I was. I still am.
Our producer, Tony Fiore, was pretty entertained, so he must understand.
Well, he has a modulator in his headphone there for the translation.
A dhvideos.com modulator as they continue to reinvent technology. Delirious likes hentai style. I think he's intrigued by the tassels. Well, I think Delirious and Hentai would just like to settle things between the two of them. Forget about Sweeney.
And Gory and Sweeney seem fine with that so far.
Well, you're going to pick your spot, of course. Down elbow tie up, Delirious with a go behind.
And you can hear Delirious just babbling on from here. Wabble, wabble, wabble.
Side headlock. Well, I guess Delirious, there's nothing worse than, trash talking.
Wasted breath.
Especially if you can't understand what trash is being talked to you.
Hold on.
Head tie, breaks the grasp, Delirious, drop toe, hold now. Head tie over top of Delirious with a chancery. It'd be so great to see really any of these athletes, even Larry Sweeney, despite his less than stellar attitude towards our surroundings, come out with the Super Indy Championship. Both men, all four men have proven in the past they are deserving. They've proven they can defend. Well, everybody but Jason Gory has proven they can defend the belt and honor. Gory never got to defend the title either, and you know that's itching away at him as well. He had the belt, but never had a chance to defend it. He was only champion for maybe an hour and a half.
He essentially proved he was championship material without ever getting to enjoy the championship.
Exactly. And you know, you gotta wonder what's worse, having had it and lost it in such a fashion, or having never had it at all.
Haven't lost, it's my guess. Because now he knows what he misses.
At time, Delirious continuing to go toe-to-toe center of the ring.
Hentai really the yardstick by which pretty much everyone in IWC gets measured. Just one of the most well-rounded classic competitors we've ever had. IWC's own Super Hentai.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why you got to look at a guy like Sami Callihan as being so impressive for being able to defeat Super Hentai. Very few and far between does Super Hentai get his shoulders pinned to the mat, that's for sure. Delirious.
That's a chicken?
Maybe in the edge of sanity.
And that's not it. Have any of these people ever seen a chicken?
How many of these people dress like a chicken? That's beside the point.
Oh, Sweeney has it right.
Where's Terry Taylor when you need him? Tag into Jason Gory. Keep in mind, Farnsworth, this, in all seriousness, a historic afternoon. We're making history because it's now confirmed we're crowning 3 new champions on the show. Very true. Very true. One set already crowned. That's right. New tag team champions are the Gambino brothers, Mickey and Marshall. And Jason Gory has quite the history with Larry Sweeney as well. Oh, yeah. Larry Sweeney attempted to break Jason Gory's neck at one point with a pile driver on the floor. And who could forget the out-of-hand Eye of the Hurricane matchup, that weapons-filled, no-rules matchup between Sweeney and Gory a couple of years ago. It seems to be on the side of Jason Gory here. What a night it would be for Babyface Fire if each representative could exit with a singles title. No, very true. What would happen to Babyface Fire at that point? That's a good question. Sweeney, pretty happy about his hairstyle, but hair is not going to win this matchup. Delirious is enjoying himself.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Not a clear-cut advantage thus far in any of these 4 athletes, wouldn't you say? True. Who? Is this Sturgis? Well, I think all, Hog Wild? All 4 of these athletes revving their engines here, ready to get serious. Nice attempt to cover, but I don't think that's anyone. Oh, that could be Daisy Hayes' engine. Well, Farnsworth, that noise. She was looking at me. That noise could just be in your head. You don't hear the engine revving. Engine? Sweeney, very frustrated. Power elbow tie-up. Sweeney with a hip lock takedown. Perhaps Bob Sparkplug Holly would like a shot at the Super Indy title. Perhaps that's who's arriving. Perhaps. Well, Gory and Sweeney certainly have to have their engines going full throttle. They got to be operating on all cylinders in this matchup if they want to survive 4 of the most decorated competitors in this company's history. And Sweeney enjoying himself, reliving some old memories here, taking care of Jason Gory. Delirious, not a fan. I can tell. We've seen Sweeney and Delirious have some very interesting altercations in past months too, haven't we? Very true. It's not like we're trying to have a wrestling show here or anything. Well, you know what? This is the true mark of a champion, Farnsworth. You gotta block out the distractions and you gotta focus in the ring. Whoever can do that is going to come out with the victory. I don't think Larry Sweeney is doing a very good job thus far. Nice drop. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm distracted. Well, that's nothing new. And Sweeney's on the outside. And this time it's not by Daisy Hayes. Delirious trying to pick his spot, but Gory waiting for him. And Gory hip lock, nicely done. Drop kick connects.
Hentai in, replacing Delirious. Are these, is this lucha tag rules?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Bobby Williams is sure. But Hentai and Gory, long-standing teacher-student type relationship.
True.
Gory trained in part by Super Hentai many years ago. And Gory with a dive to the outside. The somersault clutch connects. Beautifully done by Jason Gory as this matchup presses on despite adverse conditions. I did hear a rumor there's actually a sumo monster truck match on the roof right now, Mr. Farnsworth.
Oh, Lord, I hope not.
But Jason Gory is coming out with the upper hand right now. Gory is the most aerial of these four men. Gory has pinpoint precision when he's in the air.
And Gory has a handful of the Golden Palomino's blonde and curlies.
A little bit of revenge. The old wounds are not completely healed in the Gory Sweeney saga.
No, you never forget when someone tries to break your neck.
Drop kick, nobody home. The resourceful, sweet and sour one. More sour than sweet on this occasion, peppering Gory with the right hands.
Now putting a little soul leather to him.
Well, Larry Sweeney thinks he's looking good tonight, but will he look as good as he can with a championship belt draped on each shoulder? Double underhook. Overhead with a suplex. This could be all here, no? Not sure if Jason Gory has really had a Super Indy title opportunity, since he had to surrender that belt.
True. So, he has been involved in the tag ranks a lot.
Absolutely. We've seen him compete in Super Indy tournaments, but never with a direct opportunity to capture the belt as we do now. So Gory, much like a lot of these young athletes in the heavyweight title tournament, realize how special of an occasion this is. They're going to make the most of it. Clothesline by Hentai.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Almost with a pin on Gory. Tag into Sweeney. Second turnbuckle on the inside, measures Gory right on the spine.
And now a little bit of collusion occurring here.
Well, strange bedfellows when there's championship stakes here.
And Delirious still not a fan of Sweeney.
Not at all. What would you be if you had to compete with him?
Oh, I'm a fan of Sweeney.
Oh.
I don't have to compete with him, so
exactly.
I don't really know.
Sweeney's not trying to punch you in the head and pile drive you.
And try to seduce your interpreter either.
Exactly.
So, we've seen that. Oh!
Gory makes a desperation tag. He knew he had to get out of there. And Delirious into the ring, firing away on both Sweeney as well as Hentai. Delirious, a man possessed here, a man on a mission, hoping to recapture that Super Indy championship, be a two-time champion, I believe.
And an O'Connor roll.
Delirious set right into Sweeney, the momentum. Worked against Sweeney there, but Delirious got something out of it. Hentai takes down Sweeney. Delirious all over the place.
Sweeney took about 5 shots to the gut there.
Very few of them were actually intended for. And a nice neck breaker by Delirious as well. Super Indy title on the line. With 3 of the most deserving Super Indy champions of all time, and the one man who deserved his run, but never got it. And Sweeney puts the brakes on. Delirious chucks Gory into Sweeney.
And that's a full 6-pack. And
Gory for the cover.
Into Sweeney's 6-pack.
I believe this would be one fall. Delirious interrupts the fall. And Hentai from behind. All these men picking their spots. Here comes the Davey Boy Smith, Farnsworth.
Big power slam.
Connects beautifully with Sweeney from behind.
That's the problem with a what would this be, a 4-way tornado? Fatal 4-way?
Well, it's turned into a tornado, yeah, but absolutely fatal 4-way Super Indy title match.
You have to, not only do you have to beat one guy to the point where you can pin him, you have to make sure the other 2 people aren't anywhere around to stop.
Here comes the pile driver. And this is going to be all here. Sweeney, no, but Gory interrupts. Gory knows firsthand how lethal Sweeney's pile driver is, and he had to intervene.
No, Gory and Delirious, the only two in the ring. Hentai taking a breather. Oh, you might have been looking for masochistic healing there.
Indeed, but a counter. Gory slips up underneath. Let me go for trepidation, another Gory staple. But Delirious counters that.
Uh-oh.
Look out.
Chemical imbalance, too, driver.
Right on the head with a chemical imbalance, and Delirious just did it. Delirious.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, and once again, the IWC Super Indy Champion, Delirious.
Our second new champion of the evening, the man from the edge of sanity, captures his Indy title. Delirious, along with Daisy Hayes, back on top of the Super Indy Mountain. Bardsworth, what a unique and unpredictable matchup, and it went to the unique and unpredictable participants.
Well, congratulations to Delirious and Daisy Hayes, who once again on top of the Super Indy mountain here in IWC.
Delirious victorious, but as we saw by the contenders in the ring and the contenders waiting in the wings, it's going to be a long road from here to the man from the edge of sanity. Delirious captures the Super Indy Championship. 2 champions crowned, 1 more still to go here tonight.
Are you fans ready for our final match of the afternoon? Are you ready to crown a new champion? Here we go.
It has been a monumental weekend, and it all is building to this culmination. The precipice of this tournament and the height of 2 young men's careers about to be realized. You're looking at the future of fashion. Shima Xion, who's overcome so much. Justin Idol, John McChesney, Ray Rowe. Shima defeated, arguably, the 2 biggest favorites to win this tournament, back-to-back in succession. The moon and the stars may be aligning right now for Shima Xion. Will this be his night to break through and become not just a highly talented young lion, but a big-time main event player? Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, an individual we never really pictured that would be in the IWC title picture, for lack of a better term. A man we never really envisioned would make it to the final round. A man who almost forfeited his spot in the qualifying round. Now, after scoring wins over men like M-Dog 20 Matt Cross, Psycho Shooter Drake Younger, and indeed the former 5-time heavyweight champion, Dennis Gregory, Delicious Jimmy Demarco has a 50% chance of being recognized as champion.
This is the main event of the evening and the finals of our championship tournament. It is set for 1 fall, 60-minute time limit, and the winner will be the new IWC champion. Introducing to you first, outside the ring to my left, from the Philippines, weighing in at 198 pounds, Shima Xion. His opponent in the ring to my right, weighing in at 205 pounds, from Ozone Park, New York. Fans, he is Delicious Jimmy Demarco.
Shima Xion springs in with a drop kick. No wasted time here. Demarco retreats to the outside, and Shima Xion trying to capitalize on it. The bell is sounded, and Shima elevates himself to the outside with a puncher. It is Joe Dombrowski with Jay Worthington Farnsworth here at ringside to bring you the finals of IWC's biggest and most prestigious heavyweight title tournament in history. We've seen men like Colt Cabana and Ricky Reyes win these tournaments before. Tonight, it's either Shima Xion or Jimmy Demarco.
And I need to correct you. You said no one thought Jimmy Demarco would go this far. I picked Jimmy Demarco.
Well,
for the win.
That's very true, but Shima Xion, top turnbuckle, what's the initial drop kick? And no.
Jimmy Demarco already opened up. We're less than a minute into this competition.
I believe that was from that guardrail. Mr. John Boland joining us. Certainly you did not expect, I don't believe, these two to make it to the final round based on some of the top-notch competition here. It's such a wide-open field, and this is perfect testament to it. What do you make of this matchup as Shima hits the guardrail? Both men pulling out all stops right away.
Brother, first of all, I can't believe these two men are in the finals, but God bless them, they made it here. And they're going at it really, really hard. Look at this. We got Demarco opened up already. Shima busted up on the guardrail right there. But these guys are fighting for that ultimate prize, that IWC heavyweight title.
Two guys that I don't think were really considering even a run at the title prior to this tournament.
This is bigger than like Penn State beating Ohio State. This is bigger than Ali over Frazier or whatever. You understand what I mean? It's bigger than when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. I'm on a roll here. Shut your mouth.
Sorry.
Demarco cinching a chin lock. Shima Xion is 22 years of age. I believe Demarco is about 25. Two very young lions as far as the heavyweight title picture is concerned. No matter who wins this matchup, we're going to have our youngest heavyweight champion in about 4 years or so at least.
Very true. And
they're fighting for that ultimate prize, guys. Look at them. Look at the intensity on both their faces.
Indeed.
Well, you could tell when Shima came out, you know, normally bouncing, happy, trying to get the crowd behind him.
And check out the aggression of Jimmy Demarco.
No happy. You understand? You're going for that heavyweight title.
Well, we have a cover here. Cover 2-0.
There was nothing but intensity.
And Demarco showing that same mean streak, the mean streak of Jimmy Demarco we've known for so long now, as he sends Shima to the outside of the ring. This may or may not be irresistible force and a movable object, but it is a hell of a contest. And Demarco going to take a risk here. Springboard with a punch out of the outside. Demarco takes down Shima Xion, and both these men, you know, you made a good point a moment ago, Farnsworth. They may have not expected to be at this stage. Shima Xion may have chosen to focus on the Super Indy title. Jimmy Demarco was ready to lay down at one point in the qualifying round, but now these two find themselves at the pinnacle of this company, fighting for a championship. Cover 2-0, fighting for a championship that's been held by men like Colt Cabana, Balls Mahoney, The Sandman, CM Punk, Ricky Reyes, Shirley Doe, Dennis Gregory, and so many more through the years. And they can be added to that prestigious list that keeps growing in importance as time goes on.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Joe.
And Demarco is trying to ground Shima Xion. Despite the risk we just saw Demarco take, Shima is more adept at flying. And you got to wonder how the blood loss will impact. See more!
It could be over!
Demarco's got the title! Oh my God, no!
Oh. The move that put away the former title holder, and Shima just kicked out of it.
That was a heart-stopping moment, gentlemen. Jimmy Demarco half a second away from being our company representative as champion.
Jimmy Demarco just swung the odds sharply in his favor.
What, top rope C4? No, Shima counters. Shima Xion is now near his comfort zone. Top rope. But did the C4 take too much out of him? Apparently it did.
Swift punch to the nose to set him straight.
Demarco, beautiful suplex.
Rolls through.
One of the most picture-perfect weapons in Demarco's arsenal, that suplex, the float over. Is it enough? No. And as we mentioned, gentlemen, Jimmy Demarco doesn't choose to show it a lot, but he has great, great technique and ring savvy.
5 minutes.
Shima barely kicked out.
And
Shima heavily favoring the back. And gentlemen, this is where fatigue sets in. These men, this is their 4th match in just a little over 24 hours. And it's starting to show. And certainly it's time to dig down deep and find something you may have not known you had.
Right now, Joe, these 2 men got to go to another place. They got to go to another existence in their own self-being. They got to go somewhere darker than anybody could ever imagine. And right now, they are going at it as if they have reached that place. Yeah, they are tired, but they are going at it like 2 bulls, crazy. Look at that big backdrop by Shima Xion. Are you kidding me, Foghorn? Get amped up for this. This is good stuff here.
I'm absolutely amped up for this. 2 of my favorite competitors in IWC competing for the biggest prize of them all.
And Shima's feeling it right now.
Oh!
Up and down.
Vocational guidance counselor, that could be it.
The VGC gives him the hostile makeover, and that's 2-0.
Demarco's digging deep, guys. He's digging deep. He will not give up, but Shima, if he stays on top of him, it could be over.
Keeping in mind, Shima Xion survived, Ray Rowe survived, John McChesney, Demarco survived, Dennis Gregory, M-Dog, Drake Younger, look out! Into C4 from the top! Demarco's got the belt! No! Another kick out! Another near fall!
And Demarco has to start wondering, what is it going to take?
That's Demarco's pet weapon. He's broken it out twice in the early going, but neither time Xion was dazed enough to finish the situation. And now both men from their knees. Fatigue setting in big time. These guys have been running on pure adrenaline for probably much of this tournament, and now finally somebody's body is going to expire.
And just open-handed slaps, dude. Oh!
Side of the jaw. Lost to dust to Demarco. Could this be all? No! Another near fall.
Jimmy Demarco showing some serious resiliency.
And despite being excommunicated from the family earlier tonight, Demarco fights on 6:30. Did Shima get all of it? Shima with a 6:30. He did. He's done it. Shima Xion.
Can you believe it? Shima Xion, the new IWC.
The winner.
Of fashion has come a long way from his first IWC match 4 years ago this month. Shima Xion, through hard work and perseverance through the years, has risen to become a member of IWC Elite. Farnsworth, he is on top of the mountain.
Let's talk about the fact that 2 kids who trained together at the Coalition of Competition have risen up to this height in IWC. How proud is Super Hentai and Shirley Doe, the 2 men who train these 2 athletes to compete at this level. And Shima Xion, one of the youngest and one of the brightest, one of the best champions we've ever had.
No doubt about it, as the moment is setting in. The emotion is setting in on Shima Xion. The moment he has worked for since the age of 16, driving from Chester, West Virginia, through bad weather, through winding roads, to make it to the Coalition of Competition. Finally pays off as Shima Xion reaches the pinnacle of the company he has called home his entire career. Jason Gory out here, his tag team partner, many of the other athletes. The locker room showing their respect. Many of these men compete alongside Shima in this tournament, but Shima Xion survived and he became the champion. What a moment to remember, but will that moment be tarnished because we do not have possession of the title belt, and we know who does. Dennis Gregory, still bitter, still stewing over not having what he calls his belt, not winning what he called the Denny Gregory Invitational Tournament.
Come here.
You all can hear me.
Turn around. Face that. Stand there.
Now listen, there's only one way you earn this thing.
Wait a second. Even Dennis Gregory showing the respect deserved.
I can't say you didn't earn it.
Gregory is a very proud man, sometimes too selfish, many times vindictive. But he, being a war veteran, realizes when a great sacrifice has been made. And Shima Xion has done just that.
Let's make no mistake. Denny Gregory, as much as he was showing respect to Shima Xion, is also looking where he can put the knife to take that title back.
Dennis Gregory will no doubt be chasing Shima Xion. Dennis Gregory will no doubt want to be the next in line for Shima Xion. But ladies and gentlemen, a shocking turnout, a shocking ending to this tournament. Shima Xion is the victor. The IWC title picture has just gotten a permanent, hostile makeover. Shima Xion has arrived.